Waynesburg is 12-0, and in the finals...
A theme has developed the past 2 seasons in AA football. 2 years ago, Shadyside Academy advanced to the AA Championship and was blown away by South Park 38-6. But last season, Shadyside returned to the title game and beat Washington 30-12. This year, Washington is the team coming back to avenge their loss, and they hope to continue the trend because the Little Prexies are making their 5th trip to Three Rivers in the decade of the 90s. They last won in 1993 with a 12-7 win over Riverside. They're doing it behind an offense that scores 37.3 points per game, despite not having one outstanding statistic.
It's an offense really that is geared around having unselfish people who, submerge their ego within this team. I think that's one of the things that makes us, the offense we are, is the fact that, but nobody really cares about the touchdowns and the carries and the catches. We're going to achieve success together as a team by everybody contributing, and that's the way this offense has gone this year.
If there is a player that Washington counts on, it's Brent Marsteller. The senior quarterback has led Washington to a 2-year record of 21-3. He's passed for 1,172 yards and 14 touchdowns this season, while playing very little in the second half of most of Washington's games.
Brent Marsteller showed that he's an outstanding quarterback. He's one of the finest quarterbacks in the WPIAL. There's no doubt about it. Early in the year, we ran the football quite a bit, and when the score would get out of hand, we really didn't throw the ball. We probably only threw the ball 6 or 7 times in the first 6 or 7 football games. And, he didn't have the stats he had last year, but he's sure rung up some stats the last 2 weeks. He's a unique kid because not only does he play quarterback, but when we go on the other side of the football, he gets down in the three-point stance, and for the last 3 years has played defensive end.
To add more intrigue to the game, they are taking on one of only 2 teams to beat the Little Prexies the past 2 seasons in Waynesburg. After going undefeated for 8 weeks, the Raiders knocked off Washington in the last week of the regular season. 2 straight years. This game was something that everybody was looking forward to.
We've been looking forward to it. We hoped it would happen. They're an outstanding team. They're well coached, and they've got some physical people. And we told our kids before the Waynesburg game that first week that, hey, guys, there's a chance we may play these guys twice. So, we don't want to overemphasize the first meeting, but we wanted to try to win, and we didn't get it done. They were the better team that night, and, hopefully we'll be able to turn the tables on them this time.
Waynesburg is taking a trip to uncharted territory. The school has never advanced to the semifinals in football, let alone the WPIAL Championship. The way they play, you'd never know it. The Raiders are 5th in the WPIAL in scoring, averaging just under 37 points a game. They hold their opponents to only 8.3 points per game, also 5th in the WPIAL, and have given the community of Waynesburg a lot to be proud of.
They're great. I mean, this is great for Waynesburg Central High School. The first time they've ever been to the big dance, and I'm just happy. I'm happy right now, and all these cameras stuff.
Waynesburg's led by senior Bryce Cree, who has rushed for 982 yards and 12 touchdowns. Quarterback Lee Fritz has passed for 892 yards and 9 touchdowns. And he's also rushed for over 600 yards and 17 touchdowns. But the leader of the backfield is junior running back Lanfer Simpson, a 6'1", 230-pound bruiser who has rushed for over 1,300 yards and 17 touchdowns. Simpson is also one of the leading tacklers on the defense. Winning the WPIAL trophy is the ultimate goal for the Raiders, but there is also another trophy that the wrecking crew is looking for.
Tomahawk. This is the arrow this week. There's 12 up there. We put 1 on before the game. There'll be 13 next week. It's not being cocky, but the kids make me do it.
They need not look for any further inspiration than to their leader, Russ Moore, who has a 38-16 record in his 5 years as head coach. How often do you hear a pep talk to a football team come in the form of a poem?
And there's some tears. From me to you, the wrecking crew. I thank you one. I thank you all. Now we're going to the great big ball. It's time to work. It's time to get it done. You ain't know about it, baby. You're going to be number 1.
Russ Moore, he's quite a character out there at Waynesburg. Hey, whatever works. The kids respond to him, and that's all that matters.
They certainly do. You know, he thinks about these problems during the game, comes up with them, makes them up off the top of the head. You look at the guy's head, you can tell he's a creative character. But, I mean, something he's very inspirational to the team and wants to lead them to their first WPIAL title.
5 times in the 90s, Guy Moncalvo has had the Washington Little Prexies in the title game. He's done a terrific job there, went to Penn State, played for Joe Paterno, but they've had a lot of injury problems this year, and they're still not as healthy as they'd like to be going into a title.
No, they're not. They suffered a few injuries. Larry Wingfield and Jason Ellis both had shoulder injuries. Played through them last week. Michael Sutton is one of dynamic playmaker. He had a broken fibula. It hurt him during the early season. He plays with an air cast. It hasn't really affected his play, as you can tell by last week's game, 2 long touchdown passes. But that's something where they have to play through a few of those injuries and really overcome them to beat Waynesburg.
All right, Washington and Waynesburg are coming up next. Stan Savran will have the play-by-play. Steeler Nolan Harrison and Coach Sam LaFazzo along with the color. That's coming up next on Fox Sports Net right after this.
NFL This Morning on Fox Sports Net. The pregame show for the serious fan.
It's quick fix time. Fire the coach.
Plus, in-depth analysis and hard-hitting interviews with the game's biggest stars.
I never put my shortcomings on other people.
Go inside the game with our all-pro team, plus the Fox NFL Sunday Gang. A full hour of pregame power. NFL This Morning, Sunday on Fox Sports Net, followed by Fox NFL Sunday on your local Fox affiliate.
I'm his biggest fan. What I like best is his aggressive play. He's mean. In fact, I owe my yacht, my beach house, solid gold, and my wife's various surgeries, all to the out-of-town referrals that he sends my way. See this gap? You could drive a town car through it. Incidentally, I just bought one, fully loaded. Drives like a dream.
Come on, come on. Come on.
Held back by slow phone internet service.
Moving this way.
Try AT&T at home. High-speed cable internet service that's always on with lightning-fast downloads and exclusive multimedia. Sign up now and get free installation plus 1 month free. Call 888-620-HOME. Come on!
It's an ACC Big Ten showdown. The Tigers come calling to battle Jarrett Stevens and the Nittany Lions. Clemson, Penn State, Wednesday at 8 on Fox Sports Net. The WPIAL Championship. Coverage continues all day long on Fox Sports Net. This is Fox Sports Net.
Welcome back to Three Rivers Stadium. It's Championship Saturday on Fox Sports Net. Now the AA Championship between the Raiders of Waynesburg and the Little Prexies of Washington High. Welcome back to Three Rivers. I'm Stan Savran along with Sam LaFazzo, who's in the nightcap of his doubleheader, and Nolan Harrison. Nolan, in case you get confused, would be the tallest of the three. And in case there's a problem there, Nolan Harrison of the Pittsburgh Steelers joins us for color commentary. First, let's talk about Wash High. Sam, their tradition is remarkable. This is the 5th trip to the WPIAL Championship game in the 1990s.
Yes, and Coach Monteclavio has done a very good job with that team. They're traditionally very good, and they got an excellent quarterback in Brett Martell.
There's no question about that. And remember, these two teams began playing each other in 1905, which was only 2 years before I was born. And they have been playing each other for a long time. Geographically, they're in very close proximity. I hate to use the cliche, but they really don't like each other very much. And Nolan, you've had an opportunity to watch this Waynesburg club, and there's a reason why they're undefeated.
Yeah, the quarterback, Fritz, he's an outstanding athlete, and I consider him a game breaker. And you know, he has the ability to take this game in his own hands. Throwing the ball, running the ball with the option that they run, and also when he was returning punts, he's absolutely deadly. A couple of penalties negated some big gains, and could have been 2 touchdowns last week. So I look for him to have a big game. If they can't contain him on Washington's side of the ball, it's going to be real hard for them to win the football game.
Sam, Wash High is smaller. They use an awful lot of motion. Guy Montecalvo likes to run the double wing, all kinds of motion. But again, it all boils down to the guy handling the football, Brent Marsteller.
Yeah, he is 55. He's had 55 completions, 128 attempts for about 1,200 yards, and he just makes great decisions, and that's what I like about him.
The two teams played each other during the regular season, the last game of the regular season, as a matter of fact, and Waynesburg, the undefeated team, won that ball game 25-7, although Wash High had several key offensive performers out in that football game. Waynesburg, this is, it's been a long time coming from them, Nolan. They have not played in the WPIAL Championship game for 40 years. 1959 is the last time. We talk about their running backs. They're very strong, very tough up front, but as you mentioned earlier, Fritz is the key guy.
He is the key guy, and you know, his decision-making and his leadership on the football field is going to be key. Everything works off of him, so if he's clicking in all cylinders, he's going to have an outstanding football game. As he's showing right here, he can take the ball and do whatever he wants to, basically, with it. So it's going to be a real task for the Washington defense to stop him and make sure that he is not the one that's going to hurt him, make everybody else make plays instead of him.
Well, as is the case in 3 of the 4 games today, these teams are from the same conference. As I mentioned, they played each other in the regular season. Waynesburg got the best of that one, 25-7. Matter of fact, they are seeking to take 3 in a row from Wash High, something that hasn't happened to the Little Prexies in 12 years. When we come back, the kickoff to the AA Championship game on Championship Saturday here on Fox Sports Net.
Too late to cook breakfast.
Come on, come on, come on.
Held back by slow phone internet service?
Moving this way.
Try AT&T at home. High-speed cable internet service that's always on with lightning-fast downloads and exclusive multimedia. Sign up now and get free installation plus 1 month free. Call 888-620-HOME. Come on!
What's the value of $1? Every region has a financial foundation on which careers and aspirations are built. Since 1855, Dollar Bank has invested billions of dollars in millions of lives and thousands of businesses in western Pennsylvania. And by remaining independent, we'll continue for many lives and businesses to come. That's the value of $1.
If you want to get a better read on Pittsburgh, get it from the writers of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review.
Movies were there. I mean, it was just what I always wanted to do.
I'm a social butterfly, a born party girl, overstimulated, over-entertained, and still having the most fun I've ever had with my earrings on.
I called my column originally The Art Enthusiast, and that's really what you should know about me.
Call 1-800-909-TRIB to start home delivery of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review.
No time to watch the oven?
The show for football fanatics. NFL, college, even prep. Our all-pro team is all over it. Fox Sports Net Football News, weeknights at 6.
The WPIAL Football Championship on Fox Sports Net are brought to you by AT&T At-Home High-Speed Cable Internet Service. Call 1-888-620-HOME for details. By the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review. Get a better read on high school sports in the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review. By Dollar Bank, creating a currency of growth and opportunity since 1855. By UPMC Health Systems. Choose your health care as if your life depended on it. By Supercuts, as hip as you want to be. And by the Warner Brothers movie, Any Given Sunday. Stan Savin along with Sam LaFazzo and Nolan Harrison. Teams now coming onto the field. Waynesburg will be dressed in the visiting white jerseys and Wash High in the light blue. Nolan, did you ever play in a high school championship game, and what would it have been like for you growing up in Chicago to play at Soldier Field where the Bears play? And got to put yourself in these kids' position playing where the Steelers play.
I tell you what, I've never been in that situation, but, you know, that was something we were always striving to get to. And it would have been an incredible, incredible feeling to play in Soldier Field. So the emotions have got to be running high for these kids. So this is the pinnacle. And not only are they in the championship game, but they're playing in a place that they all dream that they're going to be playing in their futures. And it's just got to be a great thing, especially for the parents. You know, the pride that the parents have got to be feeling watching their kids play here.
All right, let's go down to the field and listen to the toss of the coin.
When I throw it in the air, I'll catch it. If I drop it, we'll do it again. What are you going to call? It calls tails. It is a head. You won the toss. You defer? Okay. You want the football? Okay, which way you want to kick? Okay, put your back.
Well, Waynesburg won the toss of the coin. They have deferred till the second half. Seeing that more and more in college football. I like to see what's going on for the start of the second half. Let me ask you this, Sam. As a coach, took Monaca to the AA championship back in 1975. Does a coach really have to work hard to keep the kids' emotions down? You want them fired up, but playing, you know, before a crowd like this, they're not used to it. Is it difficult to get 17 and 18-year-old kids to kind of calm down and concentrate on the game?
Sure is. You have to really keep them moving and keep them thinking and focused on what we're trying to accomplish during the game, because their natural instincts are they want to celebrate, and their minds are racing all over the place.
Let me ask you this also, and Nolan, this would apply to the Steelers as well. These two teams play each other every year during the regular season. Is it easier to game plan for a team that you've already seen? And indeed, they just played them about 3 weeks ago.
Yes. I would say, Billy asked me the same thing last week. I think it was different between Monaca and Southside Beaver, because they played the first game and then they're playing here. Where Washington and Waynesburg, they just played 3 weeks ago. I think it's a little bit easier then, because you have all of the different preparations and scouting reports leading up to that time.
Definitely. And you know, the biggest thing, you know, all the game plans out the window and everything, what's really going to come down to, as in reference to our game tomorrow against Cincinnati, is the one-on-one matchups. And that's what Coach Cowher is always telling us. You know, when you know a team and you're used to playing against a team every year, the one-on-one matchups become key. If you beat your man, you know, then it's going to be a big play and it's going to be a plus for your football team.
Well, Wash High will kick off. And Waynesburg, indeed, will receive. There you see how Wash High arrived here. Victories over South Park, Center, and a blowout of Brownsville. See, the Center game was a tough one. They had to win 3 games to get here. And for Waynesburg, they beat Shadyside Academy, Quaker Valley, and Aliquippa. That is Guy Montecalvo. He's the head coach at Wash High in his 19th year. His record, 152 wins, 63 defeats, and 2 ties. Interesting story about Guy Montecalvo. He was approached by 2 schools down in Washington County. Cannon McMillan and Trinity both offered him the head coaching job. And after he deliberated, he decided, well, I think I'm going to stay where I'm at. And here he is with his 5th trip to the WPIAL Championships in the 1990s. Wash High to kick off. Excellent kick coming to Cree at the 1-yard line. This is Bryce Cree. Blocker ahead. He is hit and stopped the 16-yard line. Outstanding special teams coverage. Coming in to make the tackle was Chet Henderson, who's also the middle linebacker. We'll now see Waynesburg on offense. Lee Fritz is the quarterback. Lanford Simpson, the big fullback, number 31, and Cree, who returned the kickoff, is the tailback. Waynesburg does not pass the ball very often. They only average about 8 passes per game, but that tells you about their running game. This is Lanford Simpson. He is going to lose a yard back inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
Fritz is the quarterback, had a bad handoff there, and you'll notice that it hit the leg of the wingback coming in, and then he landed right back on the ball.
Lee Fritz gets the recovery. It's a loss of, we'll call it a yard, 2nd down and 11.
Last week, Waynesburg's offense started out real excited, and they started out with 2 penalties for offsides, and that's what we were talking about, you know, getting those nerves calmed down, and they got to do that.
This is Fritz on the keeper. Got a hole up inside to the 20, across the 20, and out near the 23, 24-yard line. There's a flag on the play. Looks like it's going to come back. It would have been third down and about 4, but we'll wait for the penalty call.
Number 12, Ryan Moy, made the tackle.
Ryan is a junior, excellent size, 6'2", 160 pounds.
Holding by the offense. Half the distance penalty. Still second down.
Let's look at the Little Prexies defense. And this defense is allowed just about 11 points per game. Wingfield, 10.5 sacks this year. Chet Henderson, the middle linebacker, Ward, an outside linebacker, and there's your secondary, Mike Sutton, with 5 interceptions on the season. Second down and 20 from the 7. Fritz on the keeper. He's dead at the line of scrimmage and stopped for no gain. The fake inside to land for Simpson, the fullback. He kept it himself. No gain. It'll be third down and 20. And Chet Henderson, the inside linebacker, he is a junior at 6 feet, 240 pounds, makes the stop. Third down and forever.
They are playing much, much better, as in Washington, playing much, much better run defense. And the first 6 drives of last week's game, they showed an inability to stop the run. They're doing a much better job starting out in this game.
Fritz has completed 45% of his passes, 9 touchdowns, but he's also thrown 7 interceptions. We'll see if they play it safe here. Third down and 20. Gonna throw over the middle, and it is almost intercepted. Once again, it was Chet Henderson who got his hands on the football. Would have given Washington excellent field position. Nonetheless, they're going to get pretty good field position as it is.
Stan, what I've seen right here with Washington is that Nolan has just mentioned that they're playing almost 9 people in the block. They're saying, go ahead and throw the football. We're stopping the run here.
Here's the punt. Receiver will stay away from it. Jason Ellis will let it roll dead at the 46-yard line of Waynesburg. And so the penalty really hurt Waynesburg. They were close to a first down, pushed them back, forced them to punt out of their own end zone, and now Wash High will have it first and 10 at the Waynesburg 46-yard line. This is Brent Marsteller.
Excellent field position here.
Wash High uses a double wing. You see Vontae Johnson and Ellis are the wing backs. Now Sutton, number 32, goes wide to the far side. Here's the keeper by Marsteller. Looking for a block that never came. Give him a couple to the 44-yard line.
Excellent run defense by Waynesburg.
Jeremy Gaiman, the outside linebacker, number 6, made the tackle. Here's the Wash High Little Prexy offensive line. It's a good one.
That's an offensive line, though, that was manhandled for most of the game by Aliquippa last week. They've got to do a better job at getting themselves going, especially with this good field position. They can't do what they did last week and be stopped 6 times, 3 and out.
Sutton, number 32, is their key big play guy. He's a wide receiver. Also, D'Angelo Velez, number 26. Here's the pitch back to Ellis. Ellis has got running room, 30, 25, and finally brought down from behind near the 21-yard line. Lee Fritz, a strong safety, made the tackle for Waynesburg, but that's what that double wing does to you. Jason Ellis picking up big yardage for the first down.
And that was what you're going to see with Washington is the same thing that Southside Beaver ran. They're running the Delaware wing tee with all the motion and the scissors plays and the misdirections and their angle blocking, and at that time the right tackle pulled and opened up a nice big hole on the left side.
That was Dan Moses, number 76, a heck of a good block. First down and 10 after the gain of 23 yards. Here's the wing back counter. Once again, Ellis has got room. He's finally brought down at the 10-yard line. That'll be good for another first down and a first and goal as Greg Carson, the middle linebacker, made the tackle, but a pickup of 11 and a first down and goal just inside the 10.
Waynesburg's defense has got to calm down, and they've got to make the sure tackles. right there. He was it was a busted tackle, and that gave him an extra 5 yards on that carry. 22 did an awesome job last week. I felt he should have been the starter in the very beginning of the game because number 24 did not do the kind of job that he did. So now I'm glad to see him in there and being productive. And it shows that the coaching staff was aware of who was going to be productive in the game.
Ellis in motion. He's following Wingfield. Makes the cut inside to the 7 and down to the 6-yard line. Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. 2nd down and goal. Let's take a look at that Waynesburg defense. Jason Ellis you're looking at. He's their leading rusher. Came in with 943 yards on the season and 7.7 yards per carry. That'll get you some first downs.
I'll say that's excellent offense right there.
Waynesburg plays the 4-3. 4 deep. Lanford Simpson, I'm in trouble saying that name, is the guy to watch. And he's the big play guy on defense. Number 31, 2nd and goal from the 6. Marsteller looking to the end zone, throwing, and it is incomplete.
Out of bounds. Yeah, there's a flag on the play there as the receiver was coming across the end zone there, or the end line, or one of the Waynesburg defensive backs knocked him down. I'm sure this is against Waynesburg.
D'Angelo Velez was the intended receiver, number 26. Pass interference is the call. That'll give him a 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line.
I think Washington right now has Waynesburg rattled. They're in a position right now where they're starting to do uncharacteristic things. They're not playing as sound as they were last week. They've really got to settle down. Now, I think it's going to be the job of their captain to get them settled down on defense and play soundly. All the shifts in motion, you can't allow that to affect your play and affect what you're doing.
I'm not so sure that wasn't a touchdown.
It was a touchdown. I thought it was also. But in the replay, you couldn't see where the receiver was knocked down way before the touchdown, where the pass was received.
Yeah, I thought he got his 1 foot in bounds, but they called it incomplete. Anyway, it's 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Marsteller, he's hit and he's going to be dropped for a loss back at the 6-yard line. Outstanding play by Jeremy Gaiman, the senior, 6'2", 205, number 6. And so now, almost makes it a short passing down on 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line.
And that's already 2 tackles for Jeremy, so he's doing an outstanding job on that left side over there.
I know, Nolan, you were impressed with Gaiman.
I thought he was. I think he did a good job last week, both offensively and defensively. I think that with his size and his speed, it's going to be hard for Washington to get offside on him. I think as long as he plays sound, he's going to have a good game.
2nd and goal, the ball just inside the 7-yard line. Again, Sutton, number 32, is the leading receiver on this club. Keep your eye on him. This is Ellis on the pitchback. Dragged down from behind after just a yard gain. Again, good penetration by Waynesburg. Rashad Diggs, number 20, the defensive end, made the tackle. It is 3rd down and goal from the 6-yard line.
And they're trying to go outside and pitching the ball, and what they're doing is ending up losing more yardage than what they're gaining. I think you'd be more effective if they go straight at them rather than to try to do the pitching backwards.
Absolutely. I think Waynesburg got too much team speed to run these slow developing plays. If they hit those quick hitters up the middle, I think they have more success.
Marsteller has thrown 6 touchdown passes in the last 2 playoff games. Back to throw here. He's rushed. He's sacked back at the 15-yard line.
Absolutely awesome play. Awesome play.
Coming up from his middle linebacker position was Greg Carson, number 51. He records the sack. And now we're going to see a field goal attempt by the Wash High Little Prexies.
And again, Washington starts out. They get a chance to get down there, and they got great field position, and they end up going 3 and out, and they have to kick a field goal. And this is what happened to them last week, and they've got to start converting these 3rd downs and short. That's the key for them. They got to convert them, or else they're going to have a problem winning this football game on field goals alone.
This is Justin Dragula. He's only a sophomore. This field goal attempt will be 32 yards, angled to the right. Kick is up, and it is
good.
Good job. So, 32-yard field goal by Justin Dragula has put Washington High on top 3-0. They would have loved to have had the 6. They'll take the 3. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment.
Yeah, hi. I got home last night and I found a statement for a visit to my gynecologist. My gynecologist? Yeah, I thought those visits were covered. I'm over my limit? What limit? Well, you know, if I'm eventually going to get to my gynecologist anyway, why do I need a referral?
Doctors have known for years what care a woman needs. Shouldn't your insurance company know the same? UPMC Health Plan. The Supercut? It's the I'm the proud grandpa. The I'm proud, but don't call me a grandma. The I'll always be cuter than you. The like father, like son. Whatever you call it, we can cut it. At a price that looks good too. Supercut. As hip as you want to be.
You're watching the AA WPIAL Championship game on Fox Sports Net, presented by AT&T at-home high-speed cable internet services. The 32-yard field goal by Gagula, Wash High leading 3-0. Waynesburg has won 22 of their last 23 ball games. Last team to beat them a couple years back, Brownsville, who lost in the semis. Wash High with the kickoff and hit hard. On the kickoff return is Craig Bland, one of the wide receivers. And making the tackle was Justin Brown, number 40.
Crushing blow, and that's what you want out of your special teams. And that'll make the running back or the guy that's returning the ball, that'll make him think a little bit for making those jukes when the guys are coming that hard at him.
27-yard line, 1st and 10. Waynesburg hurt by penalty first time around. Here's the inside handoff to Lanford Simpson. The fullback, he gets 3 to the 30-yard line. Simpson is only a junior. He's 6'3", 235 pounds, and they say he probably is going to get bigger to around 6'5", 250.
He's a great prospect. I mean, he's just absolutely a good-looking athlete.
Wash High, a couple of strong runs into field goal position. They had 1st and goal for 3, had to settle for the field goal. 2nd down and 7. Fritz with the handoff to Crean. On the counter play, Crean across the 35 and out near a 1st down at the 37, depends on the mark. He may be about a half-yard shy. Brent Marsteller made the tackle for Wash High, knowing that's one of the things you like. You got your quarterback playing defensive end. That's the great thing about high school football.
That is a tough guy, and I was watching him last week, and he was making plays in the backfield and making tackles and also making the spectacular throws, and he was getting hammered in the first half last week. I definitely rate him as one of the toughest players on Washington's football team.
You think we'll see Cordell line up at defensive end Sunday? Any chance of that?
I don't think so, no.
3rd down and a foot, and this is Simpson. He's got the 1st down. He powers his way near the 40-yard line. That'll be good for a couple, and a 1st down.
Waynesburg's offensive line, their key is to dominate. Now, I tell you what, Carson at center, you know, he's an outstanding linebacker for one, but for two, he's so quick off the ball at center. Reminds me a lot of the quickness of Germani, and he gets on those defenders real quick and opens that hole up. So, you know, Simpson's going to have a good game, and when you get an offense that gets people in 3rd and short with a big bruising back like Simpson, it's hard to stop him from converting those 3rd downs.
Of course, Carson is the guy who was the middle linebacker and had the big sack on Marsteller in the previous series. 1st and 10. Rich in trouble. In bigger trouble. Sacked all the way back at the 20-yard line, a loss of 20 yards. Steve Ward, number 52, a senior, led the charge. There were 2 Prexies back there. It's going to be 2nd down and 30.
I'll tell you what, Washington came in with the idea that they're going to put 9 people in the box, and they're going to put some pressure on, and if you can throw it, God bless you.
Right there, I just think you have to get rid of the football. You can't take that kind of a loss. And to me, that's uncharacteristic of Fritz's play. I think you've got to get rid of the football or maybe try to find the check down and make a better decision right there.
Let's give credit to Tom Giles, number 79. He's only a sophomore, 6'2", 2¼ He led the charge. 2nd down and 30. Fritz firing sideline. Intercepted. The ball inside the 30-yard line by D'Angelo Velez. The senior corner makes the interception. It is his 1st of the year, and it gives Washington 1st down and 10 at the Waynesburg 28-yard line. Fritz, his 8th interception of the season.
And this is once again excellent field position for Washington, and
you know, the first quarter to have that kind of field position and be in a position to put Waynesburg on their heels is just out of sight.
Let me ask you this, Sam. Wash High, this is their 5th WPIAL Championship game in this decade. Waynesburg has not played in this game since 1959. These kids, their parents weren't even born.
You're right.
How much extra pressure is there in a school that hasn't been here?
You're absolutely right. It's a lot of pressure, and being here for the first time is added pressure.
Marcelo looking to take advantage. Shuts off a tackler, throws incomplete. The receiver was open, but the pass was behind him. The pass intended for wingback Jason Ellis. Ryan Chapman.
The initial pressure put on the quarterback by Brandon Doublehour, and he had a good game. He's a big guy. He also plays offensive tackle for Waynesburg, and he did a good job penetrating in there. They've got to do a job of blocking him because I noticed numerous times last week where he was penetrating and causing havoc in the backfield, and that's what you want from an interior lineman.
Marsteller, his first pass of the ball game, had his man open. He'll keep that in mind, or Guymon-Acalbo will. 2nd down and 10 from the 28. Straight motion this time from Ellis. Gets wide to Wingfield, the fullback. He gets short yardage inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. A gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 7. And a reminder that coming up Tuesday on Sports Beat, our special interview with Jason Kendall is a 2-parter. Guy Junker was out in Los Angeles last weekend talking to Kendall about his rehabilitation, his ankle, how's he doing. And we've got a 2-parter for you beginning Tuesday night on Sports Beat, continuing Wednesday night on Sports Beat. Hope you'll join us for that. I'm interested in learning about his progress as well because his future certainly is key to the Pirates. 3rd down and 7. Marsteller straight drop. Rush avoids the rush, throws to the corner, incomplete. Pass intended on the far side for Michael Sutton, and you saw the respect that Waynesburg was showing Michael Sutton with double coverage. Bryce Cree, the nearest defensive back to him, although he was open. It is 4th down and 7, probably out of field goal range here.
I would think so. I think they're going to go ahead and throw a pass or do something that's unusual, but I was talking or asking Nolan here, I'm really impressed with Marcello's ability to stay in the pocket, move up in the thing, not get panicked, and deliver the football.
He's not exactly the fastest guy in the world, but he's got great pocket presence, and he does what you want your quarterbacks to do, move left and right just enough to get that ball off.
4th down and 7. Marcelo, quick drop over the middle, and it is incomplete. Once again, the receiver was open. The pass intended for Ellis, but it goes incomplete, and so the interception by D'Angelo Velez goes for naught, and Waynesburg will take over 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line.
That's 2 times in a row, 2 big stars for Waynesburg make a play. The last play before that, it was number 31, Lapper Simpson, getting great pressure on the quarterback. This time, it was Greg Carson from behind getting pressure, breathing down the quarterback's neck, both times forcing bad tosses.
You see Guymon-Acalbo. He has been around the block. 19th season at Wash High. 3 in motion, Simpson. Big hole up the middle of the 30. 35 and out, across the 40 to the 41-yard line. A 15-yard gain and a 1st down for Waynesburg. Mickey Mansfield finally made the tackle for Wash High, but not before Simpson gets a 15-yard gain, and he averages over 7 per carry.
I'll say one thing, that kid has great body lean, real powerful. He runs into the seams and keeps his head up, and he did a really nice job picking up those 15 yards.
Great blocking downfield by number 6, Gaiman.
1st and 10. Waynesburg, their 2nd 1st down of the ball game. Here's a counter handoff. 3 going nowhere for half the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain. 2nd and 10. Lanford Simpson lives on a farm. His parents are farmers, and he does the chores. He gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning and, milks cows and gets run over by them. And you'll appreciate this, Nolan. He wears a size 16 shoe, even bigger than you. It's amazing. He gets this kid a job in the vineyard stomping some grapes.
I tell you what, if he continues to grow like he is, at 15, I had size 15s. It's going to be frightening what this kid's going to be like in college.
And never in trouble in a snowstorm. Fritz got the corner wide open, 45-50. Needs 1 block. He's got it to the 40, to the 35, and he's finally down at the Wash High 31-yard line. Ryan Moy, the safety, number 12, saves a touchdown. But Lee Fritz who averages 7.5 yards per carry as the quarterback picks up big yardage and a first down at the 31.
Excellent deception with riding the fullback in there and then taking it outside and just cutting it down the sideline. And he jumped over a kid to keep it for another 5 or 6 yards. He's a good athlete.
Bad news for the conference members. Lee Britton, only a junior. Bryce Tree behind Simpson. He stopped for no gain at the 31-yard line. Outstanding defensive play by Jason Ellis, number 22. It'll be second down and 10. He's got 25 seconds to play in the first quarter. Wash High leading 3-0.
Right there, I think Cree has got to follow his blocker. He had a good block that time by Lanford Simpson. If he'd have picked up speed, he'd have hit that corner, and I think he would have definitely gained at least 5 or 6 yards on that play.
Simpson just body crushed that kid. I mean, he knocked him right and pancaked him.
5 seconds remaining. Have to hurry to get this off before the quarter. They do. Simpson bulldozed his way for about 4 yards to the 27. A tackle made by Ryan Moore, the junior safety, and that will be the end of the first quarter of play. You're watching the WPIAL AA Championship game. The score at the end of 1 quarter of play. Washington 3, Waynesburg nothing. Back with the second quarter right after this.
Yep, it's takeout time. What if Hollywood didn't spend money on special effects?
No.
Watch them do it right on TLC. See how the pros really make big budget blockbusters closer than ever before. Watch the masters create maximum fear, pump the adrenaline, and set up big bang. You are there. The action never stops with ultimate special effects. Sunday starting at 8 on TLC. I can see that.
This is not a range. This is the fiery precision and impeccable timing of doing the rumba with a very, very, very good dancer. The Dual Fuel Series, the 13,000 BTU power burner, electric convection oven, warming drawer, a pulse racing pairing that raises a very unique kind of heat. Introducing Kenmore Elite. Too late to cook breakfast.
The WPIAL Championship. Coverage continues all day long on Fox Sports Net.
I'm his biggest fan. What I like best is his aggressive play. He's mean. In fact, I owe my yacht, my beach house, solid gold, and my wife's various surgeries, all to the out-of-town referrals that he sent my way. See this gap? You could drive a town car through it. Incidentally, I just bought one, fully loaded. Drives like a dream.
The bull riding beauty. Sunday at 9 on Fox Sports Net.
I hate a TV timeout.
First game, he found a lucky penny, heads up, put it in his right shoe. After the season, his dog eats it. He waits for the dog to pass the penny so he gets his back. Now, I understand that you have a dog by the name of Prexies, and I know you carry a lot of money. Hopefully, you don't leave your loose change around the house.
I wish that dog would swallow that loose change. Didn't get her through a metal detector at the airport. Tree is stopped for a couple in 4-down territory. It'll be 4th down and 5 yards to go for Waynesburg. Russ Moore, interesting story. He takes that hat off. He's got 12 tomahawk tattoos on his head. One for each Waynesburg victory. This is Fritz. Roll back, throwing deep into the end zone. Incomplete. The pass intended for Bland. Incomplete coverage by both Ryan Moy and D'Angelo Velez. And so Washington will take over on downs. Things pretty even in the first half. Really, the only difference is the field goal.
And I think that Washington is going to be, they didn't take advantage in the first quarter of the fact that they had the ball inside Waynesburg territory here and only came away with 3 points. I think it's going to end up telling the tale a little bit later on.
You have to take advantage of turnovers and great field position when you're on offense.
Inside handoff, and big running room for Vontae Johnson. He gets it outside the 40 to the 42-yard line. Cree made the tackle. Something that Wash High is doing, they hadn't shown before, is putting both of their biggest offensive linemen on one side. Dan Moses and Chet Henderson, the biggest guys they have, they're running an unbalanced line and because they don't have the kind of size to deal with Waynesburg.
And that could be the difference right here.
Absolutely, and if Waynesburg does not adjust to that, they're going to continue to test them, and until they stop them, they're going to continue to get a big dose of that running game that way.
Actually, Wash High lost its number 1 running back, Justin Martinchik, with a broken collarbone, although he may suit up today. This is Jason Ellis. Makes a good cut inside. There wasn't much there, but he managed to pick up 5 pretty much on his own. Tim Clevenger, senior defensive tackle, number 72, made the stop for the Raiders, but Ellis picked up a solid 5 yards to make it 2nd down and 5.
And it seems like when Washington goes right at them from tackle to tackle, they're moving the ball effectively, and then all of a sudden, and they get out of sync, and then they want to go wide on them, and they can't do it.
They can't do it. You got to stick with the game plan that's working. I've always believed as an offense, you continue to do things that are working well for you, and then when they stop it, then you try something else.
The whistle moving on the line of scrimmage.
You have to force the defense to adjust to what you're doing. And especially when you look at the high school game, I consider the same thing as in the pro game. You know, when we adjust to an offense, they automatically switch up to something else, a good offensive team. If they don't, then we'll continue to stuff them. They won't gain anything at all.
Illegal motion. That'll move it back 5 and take away what Ellis gained and make it 2nd down and 10. Just underway in the second quarter. 10:26 to play in the first half. In case you're kind of new to the high school game or only watch the championship, they play 12-minute quarters here in high school football. So we're just underway in the second. Wash High leading 3-0. Marsteller still looking for his first completed pass of the day. Again, they don't throw much. Statue of Liberty play, and it's going absolutely nowhere. Waynesburg was right there. Wingfield was the ball carrier, but safety Matt Emmerich, number 42, he was there, wasn't fooled for a minute.
Great heads-up play.
Emmerich, he saw it coming all the way. Matter of fact, the entire left side of the defensive line saw it was coming as well. Tim Clevenger also making great penetration. The loss is back to the 34-yard line, and that'll make it 3rd down and 17.
That's a great example of doing what your job is and not trying to do someone else's. That's the position he was supposed to be in. He had outside force, and that's what he did.
Great drop. He passed over the middle, and it is caught for a 1st down at the 37-yard line. Well, the ball seemed to hang up there forever, but nonetheless, Marsteller was on target, and he hits D'Angelo Velez. Velez averaging 27.5 yards per reception, just made that average go up.
And I'll tell you one thing, he put that right on the numbers. It seemed like it was up forever, but he cut right in front and caught it in his hands. And
perfect pass, however, it's coming back. There's a flag way back at the 34-yard line, which was the line of scrimmage. Procedure, again, against Washington.
Despite that penalty, I'm so glad to see Mr. Johnson playing well this week. He did not have a good game last week, and you could see the frustration on his face. And, you know, he's producing now. And, again, Marsteller with another big play. It's called back for a penalty, but that's his big playability. And I think Waynesburg has got to contain him and got to get pressure on him so he can't stand back there and make those big plays.
Illegal formation was the call. And that takes away that big completion, which not only would have given them a 1st down at the 32-yard line, but also if they fail to convert, it's going to change the field position greatly. Waynesburg has only allowed 9 points per game. Every point is critical. Marsteller looking deep down the sideline for Sutton, but that's going to be way out of bounds. Never a chance on that one, and Let's look back to that illegal formation penalty. That changed everything, and see what happens here after the exchange.
That's a momentum breaker right there. They had the ball on about the 30, but now they're going to have to be forced to punt here.
Those are mental mistakes that you can't make. You know, it just deflates the team. You make a great pass and a great catch, and the sidelines get all excited, and then boom, it just deflates when you realize that someone else has caused you to lose yardage.
Justin Gragula, who's responsible for the 3 points with his 32-yard field goal, is averaging 30.4 yards per punt. Lee Fritz, back deep.
Here's the catch. Watch out for Lee Fritz. He's a big playmaker if he gets good blocking downfield, but this is not going to allow him to do that.
Good roll for Waynesburg, and Wash High will take over at its own 35-yard line. 8:51 to play in the first half. Wash High 3, Waynesburg nothing.
Come on. Come on.
Held back by slow phone internet service.
Medium display.
Try AT&T at home. High-speed cable internet service that's always on with lightning-fast downloads and exclusive multimedia. Sign up now and get free installation plus 1 month free. Call 888-620-HOME. Come on!
What's the strength of a dollar? Money is economic energy. When distributed, it has the power to fuel all manner of enterprise. Since 1855, Dollar Bank has invested billions of dollars in millions of lives and thousands of businesses in western Pennsylvania, creating a currency of growth and opportunity. That's the strength of a dollar.
You're watching the AA WPIAL Championship game on Fox Sports Net, presented by AT&T at-home high-speed cable internet services. And the fake pitch and the handoff inside to Simpson, and he gets big yardage to the 50 down to the 48-yard line.
Well, Corey Ford was called the truck in the first game, and this guy must be the semi because he is really powerful.
You got to stay true to your game on the backside of a defense. You can't fall for the fake. You got to play true on the backside, or else big plays like that are going to happen, especially when you have a guy like Lanford Simpson, who you know they're going to hand the ball off to, and you know he's going to pick up big yardage. You got to stay true backside.
Simpson out, 5 carries, 43 yards in the regular season game between these two, which Waynesburg won. He had 148 yards. This is Simpson again. And Simpson picked up good yardage. 5 to the 43-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 5 for the Raiders.
Same thing backside, and like I said before, if something's working for an offense, you continue to run it until they prove they can stop it. They ran the same play, just a reverse formation.
Simpson is only a junior, making plenty of all-star teams, making all-star teams as much as a linebacker as a running back. This season, he rushed for 1,350 yards. That's 3 in motion to the far side. Fritz on the keeper, wide open up the middle, inside the 35 to the 34-yard line, and that gain of 9 yards will give Waynesburg a 1st down at Washington's 34-yard line. Tackle by safety Ryan Moy. He is a junior at 6'2", 161 pounds.
If he don't make that tackle, Fritz is in the end zone.
Everybody ganging up on the fullback, Simpson. And we've got a timeout on the field. 7:48 to play in the first half. That is Russ Moore, and that is Guy Manicalvo, head coach for Washington. Russ Moore is an interesting story. We mentioned about those tomahawk tattoos on his head. He shaves his head, just like you did last year, Nolan. I expect to see some tomahawk in your head next season. But the kids like it, and he puts a new one on for every victory. He's got 12 on there, and he says there's plenty of room for number 13.
Well, he definitely has plenty of room, and he was just excited as his kids are for coming into Three Rivers and playing in the big house. And I was watching him after the game, and it's great to see a coach that's that into the game and that's and sharing and enjoying being with his kids and doing little things like that. I tell you, is key for installing leadership and people wanting to follow you.
He's in his 5th year, and a record of 38-16 has really turned this program around. 2nd and 5 from the 34-yard line. 3 again in short motion. This is Fritz on the keeper. Gets outside. to the 30, and inside the 30, near the 27-yard line. It'll be third down and a yard. A reminder, this Sunday morning and every Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, it's NFL This Morning on Fox Sports Net. Jackie Slater and Marv Levy and Chris Spielman and all the gang get you ready for the NFL action. That's tomorrow morning at 11 and every Sunday morning on Fox Sports Net Pittsburgh.
One of my key matchups for this game was Washington's defense. Their front seven has got to stop Fritz, Simpson, and Kreese. And as you see, they're hurting them now.
Simpson got the first down and then some. Still on his feet, driving his way through the 22-yard line. The pickup is 5 yards and a first down. So Waynesburg, after some very jittery early moments in the game, Sam, appear to have calmed down. Nothing calms you down than having success on the ground.
Absolutely, and they're just chunking it out, and with Simpson right there, and then Fritz following right behind them, and they're just taking turns. And Washington's defense just totally baffling me because they just got everybody in the box.
Here's Kreese, got a hole inside the 20 and down to the 16-yard line. Gain of about 6 to make it second down and 4. Don't be fooled by this Waynesburg offense, although it's primarily a ground offense. They average 37 points a game this year, so they can move, and they do have a big, strong offensive line. I know Washington was concerned about the size disadvantage their defensive line against Waynesburg's offensive line.
The coach said last week that they weren't intending on passing the ball as much as they did last game against Brownsville, so I really think that it's huge for them to be able to run the football against a team that has been shown not to be able to stop the run.
Here's Simpson. He's a road. Tough to bring down. He gets to the 14, which will bring up a third down and 2. First man on the tackle was Mickey Mansfield. He's a senior, number 87. Third down and 2 for Waynesburg, trailing 3-0. The clock running, 5:50 to play in the first half.
It's unbelievable that with almost going through the second period, and we only have 3 points scored with these two high-powered offenses. I would have never thought that was going to happen in this game.
Waynesburg 1 for 3 on third down conversions. But Washington High, in 12 games, has only given up 53 points in the first half of those games. So they've been tough in the first half. Here's Simpson driving his way inside the 10 and down near the 5-yard line for a first and goal. Just powering his way behind the center. Greg Carson, also the right guard, Brandon Doppelhoyer, and tackled Tyler Everett, just blowing Washington off the line of scrimmage.
Outstanding block by the fullback, and then downfield looking at Greg Carson, get that block on the linebacker or the safety coming up. And if you get blocking like that downfield, no matter what size of a back you have and no matter what skill, he's going to gain yards.
Matt Imrich, number 42, was the lead back on the play. Tremendous block at the point of attack. First and goal, Waynesburg, deepest penetration. They trail 3-0. Simpson waltzes into the end zone. Nice fake by the quarterback, Fritz. Simpson waltzes into the end zone, and a heck of a good drive by Waynesburg, and they take the lead at 6-3.
That was a really, really nice play right up the middle, and a great blocking. Waynesburg's offensive line is getting a tremendous start.
I don't understand, as a defensive coach, why you leave the middle open against a team like this when you know the mean of their yardage is going to come down the middle. They're going to come right up the gut at you. You got to think that you got to have those guys bring those linebackers up a little bit closer, or put somebody over the center to make them go outside and get these backs going sideways. They're not going to be able to stop the run if they keep on letting these holes open like this.
Adam right out with the extra point. There is Lanford's system. Simpson, he is only a junior. That is his 8th rushing touchdown of the season, and now Waynesburg has a 7-3 lead.
Dan, I had Langford for 176 carries, 1,352 yards, and 17 TDs.
I missed the mark. I think I ran out of ink and just put 7 down. That sounds more like it.
That's outstanding. That's outstanding. And it's scary, like you said earlier, that he's getting actually more attention as a linebacker than he is as a running back because he's just a bruiser. He's one of those Larry Zonka type of guys. He's one of those Franco Harris type guys. One of those guys when you see him go up the middle, and maybe you see John Madden making a boom, 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 boom. That's the only sound effect that you hear.
Now the scoring drive, impressive, 65 yards. 9 plays, ran out 3:55 off the clock. Simpson with a 5-yard run, make it a 6-yard touchdown run. His 18th touchdown of the season. And now Waynesburg with the 7-3 lead. And again, Sam, you pointed out that Wash High in scoring territory 3 times in the first quarter, settled for only 3 points.
And that's going to be critical here. When they had their chance, they should have taken advantage of it. They didn't, and now Waynesburg has the momentum. And
right out with the short kick, but it worked. Wash High mishandles the football, and they're going to pay the price. They have to start out deep in their own territory, just outside the 15-yard line. Right-out kick was very short, but Washington let it bounce, and you can't do that on a kickoff. And so the little Prexies now will have about 80-some yards to go for a touchdown, which would give him the lead.
Let the ball bounce right between his legs, and great job of coverage by the Waynesburg coverage team.
That's D'Angelo Velez, who was one of the up men on the kickoff. Let it get by him, and that'll cost him probably about 20 yards in field position. Right out, the kicker came down to help make the tackle. 1st and 10 from just outside the 15. Marsteller in the flat. Pass is caught. Nice move by Sutton, who gets it to the 25, 26-yard line, close to a first down and out of bounds. Cree, playing at the corner, pushed him out of bounds, but a nice move may have given Wash High a first down.
Michael Sutton is their stud, and they got to find ways of getting him the football. In a big game like this, I would even try making the guy running back and putting him in the backfield. He's been the one that's been the most productive, and you got to find ways to get him the football somehow.
You're absolutely right, Nolan. Sutton suffered a stress fracture in his leg this year and didn't start playing until the midway point of the season. They've had a lot of injuries on this club. Sutton got healthy about the midway point of the season and has been a big contributor. He had 2 touchdown catches last week. They are about 6 inches short. It'll be second down and very short yardage for Washington. Washington High, we talked about injuries. Ellis is playing with a separated shoulder that he suffered last week. And Larry Wingfield, the fullback, number 35, he's playing with a dislocated shoulder.
Wow.
So they're toughing it out.
Last week, Larry Wingfield was the guy on their offense that gave him the spark. You know, they went 3 and out 6 times in a row, and then as soon as the second half opened up in that game against Aliquippa, they started running Wingfield, and he started making plays, and he really sparked that offense. And he's gutting it out today, but this is a big show, so he's got to.
Second down and 6 inches, maybe a down to play with. Vontae Johnson gets a block, gets outside, and will also get out of bounds with the first down. First down, Washington. Good block by Tommy Sapula, number 58. He enabled Johnson to get to the corner and pick up the first down. There's the pull right there by Sapula. Steals off the inside pursuers. They pick up a nice 6 yards and a first down just across the 30.
Good job by Vontae Johnson following the blockers. In this game, on offense, you have to be patient as a running back, follow the blockers, and those are where the big plays come from.
Here's the fake counter play. Marsteller looking, throwing, and it is incomplete. Pass was a bit high, intended for Sutton. Had he looked, he had a receiver wide open about 10 yards further downfield. Lee Fritz broke up the pass.
That was a devastating hit, and Sutton's still down on the ground right now.
Sutton is a senior, not very big. It's 5'10", 150 pounds. Only had 15 receptions coming into this game, but remember, in this half of the season, because he had a broken leg.
Yeah, I have him down for 15 receptions for 436 yards and 7 TDs.
Pretty good work for a half a season.
Oh, sure is.
Well, there's another one of those quarterbacks making a big play. We got one quarterback who plays defensive end, the other one playing strong safety, Lee Fritz, who's got great size, 6'2", 180 pounds. He's a junior. He'll be back for one more year.
delivers a big hit on Sutton. That's going to be scary. Not only is he coming back one more year, but you know the kid's going to grow, and he's going to be bigger and stronger next year. So, and he plays outstanding both ways. I have a lot of respect for both of these quarterbacks. Of course, you know, I have to like Marshall a little bit more just because of the fact that he plays defensive end and plays quarterback. So not only is he a glory boy, but he's a grunt like me. So you got to love that.
You know, the other thing is, too, is that Waynesburg only has 4 starters on offense graduating. They're liable to be back here next year.
That's going to be a great thing for them. And you need the guys who are backing up or are standing on the sidelines, they're getting great experience watching the guys who are in their positions right now.
It's Michael Sutton, and he's coming off with some aid. His right leg. Let's see if we can't get a report.
That right leg looks like it's heavily casted up. I don't know if that's a brace of some type or it's a soft cast on it. I noticed that in last week's game, and I take it that's to protect that fracture that he had earlier in the year.
There you see right, Nolan's talking about that, exactly, the protection. It looks like that's exactly where Fritz got him. Inside handoff to Ellison. He escaped one tackle, but he loses his footing. That was Lanford Simpson, who just charged in, got the great penetration, and in essence stopped the play for no gain to bring up 3rd down and 10.
Lanford has really done a nice job offensively, but it's just like Nolan said before, his defensive abilities are just as good as his offensive abilities.
Dan Moses got up limping a little bit. He had an outstanding game last week, and he was another guy that helped spark their victory. He recovered a fumble, and defensively he was one of the main guys in there trying to get things started for him along with Tom Giles.
He is their biggest offensive lineman at 255 pounds. 3rd down and 10. Marsteller, he's going to be sacked inside the 25-yard line. Immediate penetration by Greg Carson, and hasn't he made a number of big plays already? That's his 2nd sack. It'll bring up 4th down and very long yardage, and with 3:30 to play in the half, Waynesburg's going to get another opportunity to score.
And nobody touched him. I mean, he came in free. There was not even a hint of anybody blocking.
Vontae Johnson, when you have a lot of motions like that and you got a blitzing defense, when that guy turns back around and he can't get the guy who he's supposed to pick up, big plays happen like that. And that's what happens when you start having these motioning offenses. When you got guys moving one way, and it's hard to make them change direction to go back to pick somebody up.
Good pump by Gregula. This is Fritz to the 50, 45, looks to the sideline, and is knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line. And so, with 3 minutes exactly to play in the first half, Waynesburg set up pretty nicely. What a series it was, not only for Carson, but Fritz. He makes the big hit, and then he returns the punt to the 42-yard line. Mansfield made the tackle, but not before Waynesburg gets to the Washington 42-yard line, 1st and 10. Get the feeling that Waynesburg's starting to feel a little bit here, and this is a critical part of the ball game. If Waynesburg were to push one in here, it would be very difficult for Washington to come back in the second half, although they were down to Aliquippa last week.
Absolutely.
Gaiman in motion, number 6. Free. Hole on the right side to the 39, perhaps the 38-yard line, a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Jason Ellis made the tackle for the Little Prexies.
The thing I like most about Waynesburg's offense, especially their running backs, is they fall forward. Now we're taught in the pros to hit these guys and knock them back. If you let a running back fall forward, he's going to gain an extra 1 or 2 yards. And when it's 3rd and short, that's what you want to be in a situation that's perfect for an offense when you get 3rd and short.
Gaiman motion near side on 2nd down. Fritz throwing over the middle, and it is caught near 1st down territory. The pass complete to the tight end Derek Mears, number 32. Very close to the 1st down. Depends on the mark. Steve Ward made the tackle. It's short of the 1st down. 3rd down, less than a yard.
Great job of place taking by Fritz here. Absolutely no one knows, and a great job of bringing the ball in, looking the ball in, and trying to get as much positive yardage as possible. Good tackle right there.
Steve Ward is really a nice linebacker. He reads really well and does a great job of maintaining his feet.
Here's the inside handoff, and it is going nowhere. They'll lose yardage back to a 35. Undoubtedly, Waynesburg will go for it here, but they're going to have a good 3 yards to pick it up. Wingfield and Mansfield making the tackles and the penetration for Washington. And now Waynesburg will call a timeout on 4th down and 3 to decide what it is they'd like to do. There's Larry Wingfield. And remember, He's playing with a partially dislocated shoulder.
I think it would be a big mistake right now if they go ahead and try to get this. I mean, they're ahead in the game. They got everything going for them. I wouldn't risk turning the ball over to them by doing something very dumb. I'd punt the ball away and let them go the full length of the field here.
Absolutely. You pin them down in their part of the territory, and you make them run the field. You make them go the long field and score a touchdown on you. And the way their defense is playing, that's going to be very difficult. But I think Washington's got to do exactly what they just did. They've got to start putting pressure up. They got to start bringing people up and, run the risk and let that guy pass the ball. You got to let Fritz try to beat you downfield. And right now, it looks like Waynesburg is committed to running the football, and you've got to commit to stop him on defense. This bend but not break technique is not working for him. And, it worked for him last game, and they ended up holding on and winning against Aliquipper. But I don't think they're going to be able to stand up in the long haul trying to play that type of defense against Waynesburg.
Well, we're seeing a chess match here because Russ Moore sent the punting unit onto the field. As soon as they came out and lined up in punt formation, Washington High called timeout. They just want to see what they're going to do. So Wash High calls timeout. Now, Russ Moore's gone back to a different unit. So I don't know how long this can continue. At some point, they've got to snap it. There's 1:32 to play in the first half. I would imagine, Sam, if it were 4th and 1 as opposed to 4th and 3, they would have been tempted to go for it.
Yeah.
But 3 yards is long
Absolutely.
distance.
4 yards is tremendously different than 1 yard. Especially if this is a critical junction in the game. I mean, there's only 1:32 left. You don't have to do anything stupid. You're winning the game. Put the ball in the other person's court and let them make the decision.
Well, it looks like they're going to go for it.
Either that or it's short punt formation. Yep. Fritz is going to give him a quick kick. And the ball will hit. Takes a great Waynesburg roll. They down it.
Outstanding
At
play.
the 1 yard line. They're gonna,
Outstanding play.
They're going to give it to at the 1 yard line.
That is a great job. That quick kick is something I think we should bring back into the pros because, Cordell can do that. I don't see why we don't do that sometimes. Just quick kick it, put it down in there, do a little food punt.
That's Brian Chapman, who's got great balance. He might get a job as a tightrope walker one of these days in the circus. Watch him. He's got to hold his position.
Well, they've been watching Walt Harris because Walt does that with Pitt, and I've seen him do it 3 or 4 or 5 times already, go line up the quarterback in short punt formation and then just kick the ball and keep him off balance.
That's a great job by them to do that thing. Now they're pinned, and here we're looking for a safety. Here right now, if I'm a defensive lineman, I'm snorting because I want to try to get that safety.
And Washington's got to be very careful with the football. Straight handoff this time, no counteraction. And Wingfield is hit just outside the goal line. Waynesburg signaling they've got a safety, but forward progress. And now Russ Moore wants to call for a timeout. He'll have 1 remaining. He's hoping to force them at least to punt 1 time.
That's really a good call right there.
Yep.
I mean, we put it in there. They're exactly where he wants it to be.
Well, it's unfortunate that he had to use the timeout before the punt. Otherwise, he would guarantee that he'd get the ball back. Straight handoff to Wingfield, and he barely gets out that line of scrimmage. And there's who? Lanford Simpson.
Barely. And I tell you what, he's having an outstanding football game. Face up, to put a big back like that and push him backwards. I think that's a great job.
You know what? It's not a good week to be talking about would-be safeties in this town. That's what happened in Nashville. Whistle and a flag. We have a delay of game, I believe. Yep, delay of game. Now, the penalty on this can't be but an inch and a half.
I don't think the ball can go back anymore.
I don't think it's even an inch and a half.
You award him a safety on a penalty. There you go.
And part of the problem here for Wash High has been that their average starting position here in the second quarter has been their 14-yard line. And really, there's only been 1 sustained drive all ball game.
You're exactly right.
See, that's where special teams is key. If people don't understand how important special teams is to a football game, because they're the #1 starting play for the offense and the defense. And if they don't perform well, you put your offense and defense in terrible positions. Right now, Waynesburg special teams is doing an outstanding job, and they're putting them in great positions to do some wonderful things in this football game.
Sam, if you're calling the play here, you just call for a quarterback sneak because with only 1 timeout remaining, only 30 seconds on the clock, unless there's a fumble, Waynesburg's not going to get the ball back here.
So would you not even want to risk a handoff? I wouldn't even think about risking a handoff. I just want that offensive center just to give me a little bit of space. I just want to get out of there as quickly as I can. I don't want to make any mistakes. I don't want to turn the ball over.
And as a defensive lineman, Nolan, you looking to strip the ball here?
Absolutely. I'm looking to get as much penetration as possible and get my hands on that football. And, you know, the size of Waynesburg's defensive line is they're going to have a hard time moving them off the ball. They converted 3 or 4 of these last week. Washington did against Aliquippa, converted 4th downs in short like this. So this is going to be interesting to see which line is going to win, who's going to dominate.
Now the inside players, Doppelhoyer and Clevenger, average 260. They're going to throw. The pass is incomplete. The pass is intended for Velez. It's actually not a bad play, although it could give possession back to Waynesburg and force him to punt. We'll see what happens on 3rd down and 10.
That was a good job by Tim Clevenger to go up the middle, number 72. He actually ended up getting held, but the referee didn't see it. He did a good job getting pressure on the quarterback immediately and forcing that quick throw.
Those officials never see defensive linemen getting held.
They never see holding. I never understand that.
They see if you guys didn't complain about it every single play, you try Wolf every play, you might get one once in a while.
Hey, we are not the biggest complainers. I tell you what, those quarterbacks, hey, ref, he's hitting me. Ref, he's breathing down my neck. Ref, he called my mother something.
3rd down and 10. Our fellas going to throw it. Pass is incomplete, off the hands of the receiver. Fritz was in the area. That's D'Angelo Velez, and Fritz was right there waiting for the interception, but the deflection forced it away. Now, Washington will be forced to punt. Well, 21 seconds to play.
Coach Montecalvo, that's a very, 2 times in a row, he had very risky decisions to throw the football, but if you don't complete them, now you really pin your punting team back in there.
And you saved the timeout for your opponent.
Exactly right.
Well, Gregula will punt. He's got only 11 yards, barely 11 yards, with which to kick. Fritz is standing at his own 30.
Almost blocked.
High, but short. Look at Fritz to the 25, to the 20, to the 15. He's down at the 11-yard line, and with 11 seconds to play in the half, Waynesburg will have at least 1 shot of the end zone, maybe 2.
Outstanding running. Like I said, Fritz is a game breaker. He does an outstanding job with punt return. You look at him right here, and, you know, only 1 block. If the guy gets 1 block, he's in the end zone. He does a good job of carrying that tackler downfield. He gets an extra 5 or 6 yards. And I tell you, that's where that size comes in.
Just fielding the ball, Nolan. I mean, a lot of high school players wouldn't even try to field the ball. I mean, just having the presence of fielding the ball and then making the play.
He's a gamer. And you look at him, he's only a junior.
Adam Rideout, number 9, is the place kicker. Keep that in mind. Whistle before the snap. And if it is against Waynesburg, it could be a critical 5 yards if you're thinking field goal.
It is. Pre-snap penalties kill you. They derail your momentum, and they hurt you offensively and defensively. It's defense, it's usually the offside penalties. For offense, it's the illegal motion. And those things kill you. You can't give up cheap yardage like that.
What do you call here, Stan? 1 pass in the end zone and try the field goal?
Definitely. I'm throwing it in the end zone and see what happens, and I'm not going to make any mistakes.
Remember, the clock stops on the 1st down if that should come into play. Fritz looking, ball is picked up in the air, and it is incomplete, almost intercepted. Ellis was coming over there. Brent Marsteller, the defensive end and the starting quarterback, tipped the ball as he dropped back in coverage. That brings up 2nd down with 6 seconds to play. We're able to see the field goal attempt right now.
I think you're right.
See the ball tipped to the line of scrimmage.
And that's the kind of pressure Washington's got to come with if they want to have a chance of winning this football game and coming back.
Now, Lanford Simpson is going to attempt this field goal of 32 yards. Kick is up.
That's it.
It is good.
The kid can do it all.
He can do it all. They use Rideout on extra points and shorter field goals, but in high school, 32 yards, pretty good boot. We've seen 2 of those. And again, the decision by Guy Montecalvo to pass at his own goal line ends up costing him 3 points.
he did it twice, and then you put yourself in the hole by having a short punt like that. And Fritz fields the ball and takes it down, and there's an extra 3 points on the scoreboard.
Just inside the upright. It's Simpson's second field goal of the season. Is there anything that he hasn't done?
Right now, Coach Russ Moore is winning the brain game, as you call it. Right now, he's definitely out coaching Coach Guy Malavallo.
So this should be a swift kick. Official clock with 1 second to play in the half. Remember, these two teams did meet during the regular season, and Russ Moore's team, you're watching there, won it 25-7. But it's only a touchdown differential. Russ Moore will be one of our halftime guests. Again, this is Waynesburg's first appearance in the championship game since 1959 when they lost to Braddock. Sam, I would imagine that Chuck Clousey was probably coaching at Braddock in 1959.
1959, and I was a junior on that team.
Were you?
So I know exactly.
You remember that game?
I remember that game exactly.
Well, that is the end of the first half. Washington took a 3-0 lead, but since then it's Waynesburg with 10 unanswered, and they lead at halftime 10-0. We're just about set to begin our halftime festivities. Let me correct the score. Waynesburg 10, Washington 3. Now let's go back down to the sideline and Bill Fontana. Bill.
Sam, thank you very much. We're with Russ Moore, the head coach of the Waynesburg squad, the Red Raiders. And looking at this football game, Russ, in the beginning of the game, you think that, you know, the aura of Three Rivers Stadium, your kids were a bit unsettled?
A bit tight, yes, very much unsettled. You know, the fun ball, we're okay now. It usually takes us like that in most games. It takes about 2 or 3 series before we do get things going. And once we get Lanny moving, we know we're pretty good.
I spoke to you earlier in the week, and you told me that one of the keys, you're going to give them a dose of Lamper from the first to the fourth quarter. Are you still going to adhere to that philosophy?
I'll tell you what, with the offensive line that we have, you know, we're going to give them a lot of Lamper. I mean, you know, we put a few wrinkles in for Lamper to get the ball. Basically, it was just straight sub score, and most of us are working the first half. We're going to give them some Lamper, and we're going to pass the ball. Lee will be okay. We'll come out and throw here a little bit in the second half.
Russ, you were in a bit of a precarious situation. Your defense came through big for you early.
Our defensive, Dave Ferris, our defensive coordinator, always does that. I mean, he's got the kids prepared every game, you know. And Devontae Johnson, that's the first time we got up against him. He's got more speed than we thought he had.
They are banged up. They have some players that they're trying to disguise with some key injuries.
Right, yeah, I know they're banged up. Lord, everybody's banged up this time of the year. I'm feeling a little sore myself.
Well, you wanted to get on the Jumbotron. Show us your head.
Hey, here's the head, baby, right here.
$2 a piece, is that right, for 13
$1 a piece. I'm in debt right now, $36. So the cheerleaders, $36. They said they'd take care of it if I got this one today.
Final question, what do you have to do to keep this up and be successful, bring the first crown home since 50, well, actually, in the history?
It's very important that we come out here at halftime. It's very, very important. We come out, we're on defense first, and we shut them down and establish it. We started getting that going, and we started, you know, getting the march so they're taking care of some of their big plays, and that's what we have to do, you know, take away their big weapons.
Russ Moore from Waynesburg, and they're winning right now. It's halftime at Three Rivers Stadium. We'll be back with more high school football on Fox Sports Net.
No time to watch the oven? Time to get out of line and into an agile, well-equipped, entertaining Dodge Stratus. It takes your drive in a whole different direction. Now get 0.9 financing or a $1,250 cash allowance on Dodge Stratus.
If you want to get a better read on Pittsburgh, get it from the writers of the Pittsburgh Tribune Review.
Writing in Pittsburgh is great because this is a sports town. My writing is like the way Darius Kasparaitis plays hockey, hard-hitting.
People in the Pittsburgh area are born to have position. I love to do it, and I love talking to them about it.
I cover sports from a fan's perspective. I was born here, grew up here, and there's nothing like a Pittsburgh sports fan.
Call 1-800-909-TRIB to start home delivery of the Pittsburgh Tribune Review. Yep, it's takeout time.
NFL This Morning. Join Chris, Marv, Jackie, and Chris for a wild hour of pregame power. NFL This Morning, Sunday on Fox Sports Net. It's an ACC Big Ten showdown. The Tigers come calling to battle Jarrett Stevens and the Nittany Lions. Clemson, Penn State, Wednesday at 8 on Fox Sports Net. Kick off your weeknights with a show for football fanatics. NFL, college, even prep. Our all-pro team is all over it.
Things are picking up.
Fox Sports Net Football News, weeknights at 6.
Game time, baby. Game time.
We're back at Three Rivers Stadium. It is halftime. It's Waynesburg enjoying a 10-3 lead over Washington High School. This is the second of 4 games. Coming up next, we'll have Bell Vernon and West Allegheny. But the Red Raiders lead right now, and speaking of them, let's go down on the field and pick up the action of the Waynesburg Central Red Raider Marching Band. High School marching band. First time ever, quite a thrill for him here at Three Rivers Stadium. We're going to take a bracket halftime where Waynesburg leads 10-3 on Fox Sports Net.
What's the value of a dollar? Every region has a financial foundation on which careers and aspirations are built. Since 1855, Dollar Bank has invested billions of dollars in millions of lives and thousands of businesses in western Pennsylvania. And by remaining independent, we'll continue for many lives and businesses to come. That's the value of a dollar.
Stressed out with life's daily pace? Then get away. Call 1-800-EMBASSY and experience a getaway weekend at the Embassy Suites Pittsburgh Airport. You'll begin with a manager's reception with your favorite beverages, dinner in the Foggy Bottom restaurant, and then relax in Horse Feathers Lounge. Get a great night's sleep in our two-room suite, and enjoy a complimentary cook-to-order breakfast in our atrium. Your satisfaction is 100% guaranteed. Call 1-800-EMBASSY and get away to Embassy Suites. What a difference a stay makes. What if Hollywood didn't spend money on special effects?
No.
Watch them do it right on TLC. See how the pros really make big-budget blockbusters. Close as ever before. Watch the masters create massive gear, pump the adrenaline, and set up big bangs. You are there. The action never stops with ultimate special effects. Sunday starting at 8 on TLC. I can do that.
On any given Sunday, a legend will fall. Get up on me. I'll fight for you to the day I die. A hero will rise. And a war will begin.
Changing the play. Doug, what do you like? You run the play, I call. I've been warming the bench the whole time I've been in the post. I don't plan on going back.
Any given Sunday, life is a contact sport. As soon as I get back, starts December 20th.
It's Championship Saturday from Three Rivers Stadium on a perfect November afternoon for high school football. Waynesburg enjoying the 10-3 lead over Washington High School. And now we're going to present to you the Washington High School Prexies Marching Band. Let's listen and enjoy. again, you're listening to the band play, the Washington Prexie Band. It's halftime where Waynesburg and Lamper Simpson have been too much. We're going to take a break and come back with the start of the second half. There's more high school football from Fox Sports.
Too late to cook breakfast.
Fox Sports News Prime Time. Your Sunday night source for all the day's NFL action.
Oh, wait, there's more.
From the playmakers
He's off for the races. Touchdown!
to the game breakers and newsmakers. Want the latest? You've got it.
Woo!
Catch Keith, Kevin, NFL coaching great Marv Levy, and our all-pro team of analysts. Wow, we've covered the NFL.
You bet.
Fox Sports News Prime Time. Sunday night, every night.
This is not a washing machine. This is the road to reincarnation for your beloved white tablecloth that was fatally stained by a wicked 87 Merlot. The Catalyst Series, with patented Catalyst stain removal system, taking laundry from doomed to divine, unstaining stains in the most miraculous manner. Introducing Kenmore Elite.
So, what were the results?
Oh, no, another week.
A week? Honey, we've been dealing with this irregular heartbeat for 2 weeks now. Why won't they send you to a cardiologist?
The insurance won't pay for it unless I get a referral.
Can't believe we don't have any choice. If you wish you could visit a specialist without a referral, make sure your health plan is run by doctors. UPMC Health Plan.
No time to watch the oven?
When the high school games are done, we've just begun. High School Extra, live, Fridays at midnight on Fox Sports Net.
In the background, you can hear the sound of the Washington Prexie Band. It is halftime where Waynesburg, undefeated on the year at 12-0, holds a comfortable lead, well by a touchdown. And we've got a lot of great football. Lanford, Simpson and company. Bill George was the famous football player from Waynesburg back in the 50s. And we're going to go back upstairs now. And ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Stan Savran. Stanley.
Thank you, Bill. And I remember Bill George, heck of a linebacker for the Chicago Bears. We are 37% through Championship Saturday. 3-8. Are you impressed with my mathematic ability? In case you joined us a bit late, in the Class A championship game, it was Southside Beaver defeating Monaca and withstanding a furious Monaca comeback, 21-14, the final. Southside Beaver one time had a 21-0 lead. We're at halftime here, game number 2, and that has Waynesburg leading Washington by a count of 10-3. I'm joined by Sam Lafazzo and Nolan Harrison of the Steelers. 10-3 the score. First of all, Wash High, Sam, they have only been able to generate 43 yards rushing on 15 carries. They've only completed 1 pass.
Well, I think the turning point for Wash High was when they had the 2 opportunities early in the first quarter, put some big points on the board because they had great field position and didn't do that. And then later in the second quarter, when they had the long pass on the 3rd and 17, they completed the pass, was called for a penalty, was brought back, and then they didn't do anything after that.
Illegal formation, too, something that certainly can be prevented. Waynesburg Nolan started out very shakily. They were jittery, these kids. Haven't had much experience in championship games. Not like Wash High, they've been here 5 times in the 90s. But once they got their feet under them, they have pretty much controlled the game.
I think their senior leadership really got them calmed down along with their coach on the sidelines, and they started playing good football. I think the key to this game for them has been making sure that offensive and defensive lines are controlling the line of scrimmage. And with any football game, if you dominate the line of scrimmage on offense and defense, you're making big plays. And that's key when you're seeing Lamper Simpson running for the yards that he's run. I think he had 69 yards in the first half already, and those huge gaping holes that they're putting, they're opening up for him. If they continue to do that in the second half, it's going to be real hard for Washington to come back.
Plus the fact that Simpson weighs 235 pounds. It's like Jerome Bettis. He's going to start to wear on you after a while. Take a look at the first half highlights, and actually Washington got on the board. They had a 1st and goal at the 3, but a sack by Greg Carson forced him to go for the field goal. Justin Gregula made a 32-yarder, and Washington led 3-0. But remember that could have been a touchdown, 1st and goal at the 3. completing a 65-yard drive. Simpson right up the middle, untouched. They made it 7-3. And on the second-to-last play of the half, it is Simpson again. Also a 32-yard field goal. That made it 10-3, and that is our halftime score. Sam, let's talk about Washington. What do they need to do to get back in this ball game?
Well, I think they have to go back to what brought them here, Stan. I mean, they ran the football. I mean, they're a high-powered offense. They need to get back to doing that rather than picking things out from here and here and here. They need to put the continuity back into their offense and do the things that brought them.
Or how about Waynesburg? Just put it in cruise control and keep doing what you're doing?
I don't do that. If I was them right now, just like the coach said, start it open up in the passing game. Right now, you know they're going to put 8, 9 up in the box. Start open up in the passing game. Let your receivers go down through and make plays. I wouldn't stop right now. This is a chance for them to make history for their school. So I wouldn't stop. I continue to pound them on offense and just make great plays on defense. I think they can do that.
All right, Washington will get the second half kickoff. They'll be on offense for the first series of the game and see if they can't move down the field to tie it up. We mentioned about the Class A championship game. That saw Southside Beaver moving up to a 21-0 lead, but Monaca came back with 2 late touchdowns, not able to get there. The final, Southside Beaver 21 and Monaca 14. Sam, you did that game, and it really turned into a real thriller at the end.
Oh, it was. I was telling Bill that I thought the game was over, and then that Phillips stole the ball off the kid and ran 85 yards, and here we go with 2:31 left, and it was a game again. And Southside Beaver was very lucky that they were able to control the ball and run out the clock.
Well, when you got them down, you got to keep your foot on their throat because these are champions. Even the loser today is a champion, and they'll come back on you. They're quality football teams and got a lot of character.
That's like I said, with an offense, you can't be conservative. You can't just try to put it in cruise control and hope that they don't make any plays. You got to come after them on defense. You got to really come after them on offense. That's how championships are won.
All right, we mentioned we're not even halfway through. Don't forget, following this game, it is the AAA championship game right here on Fox Sports Net. And some people think that might be the best matchup of the day. West Allegheny going for the championship, and they're second in 3 years. They'll go against Bell Vernon. These two teams are both undefeated and untied. It's the first time, or the second time in the last 20 years, that 2 unbeaten, untied teams will meet each other in a WPIAL championship game. Let's go back down the field and Bill Fontana. Bill?
I'm with Guy Montecalvo, the head coach and the legend at Washington High School. Guy, the tradition is here for you and your football team. I'm sure right now you're not happy where you are, but tell us what Waynesburg has done successfully in the first half.
Well, they took advantage of some of our mistakes, Bill. We didn't catch the football well at all. We had our wide open on the 5-yard line. On a comeback route, 3-0, we're up. We kind of got them back on their heels a little bit. We dropped the football. We blew a couple of assignments in pass protection. One of our young running backs who's playing this afternoon because of an injured player is not going to be able to do as well as a guy that's a veteran, and we missed some protections there. But ultimately, Bill, they've powered it at us inside, but it's been a lot of our own mistakes. We have a 27-yard catch on a post pattern. Our wide receiver's not up on the line of scrimmage. We're moving the football. We've got 2nd and 5. We don't snap the ball on the right count. Now it's 2nd and 10. We got to throw the football, and we get sacked. We're down here inside the 5-yard line. We throw a curl pattern. We drop it. It ends up being 3 points for their team. We have made an awful lot of mistakes. Hopefully we can get those things rectified and see if we can kind of play the football that we played last week against Aliquippa.
Guy, good teams, good Washington teams, too, tradition, are able to do that. What'd you tell your kids at halftime?
Well, we're going to have to fight. It's going to be a very physical football game. This is a physical team. We've got to do a little better job inside on the defensive line, and hopefully we'll be able to do that. A couple times we didn't get very good hands on. One time on the perimeter, we were in the perfect defense to stop the quarterback keep. We got sucked inside trying to do something other than what we were supposed to do on the perimeter by our outside guy. He takes it 35 yards for a big gain on a keeper. Those are the kind of things that we've got to eliminate. We've got to play team defense where each and every guy does his own job, and we've got to continue to do what we're doing in the running game.
Guy, they seem to be very tough to tackle. It's almost like you have to hit them low, isn't it?
Well, there's no doubt. Lanford Simpson's a great football player, and he plays with such tenacity. He drives his legs. You've got to gang tackle him. You've got to take him low. We've done a fairly good job at that at times, but there's 3 or 4 times when he split it on us.
Guy, thank you for your time. Best of luck to you in the second half. Thank you, Bill. There you have it. Guy Montecalvo, the head coach for the Washington Prexies. He's been here. We're going to go back upstairs now for the exciting second half of action. And let's go back up to Stan, Nolan, and also Sam.
All right, Bill, thanks very much. Good job on the sideline. Again, Washington will receive the second half kickoff. They are trailing 10-3. Probably ought to mention that it's only 10-3. We're got shovels full of dirt here for the little Prexies, and you know, they didn't get here by giving up. There are your stats, and by and large they're even, but the biggest thing that comes out, both these teams being running teams, and look at the edge that Waynesburg has. 69 of those 109 belong to Lanford Simpson, and also Lee Fritz has hurt him on the perimeter, Nolan, with his keepers.
Yeah, he does a real good job when he gets out in the open field of making people miss. And I think that's key for them. But the bottom line is this, you know, right, no one's dead and buried right now, but if you don't stop the run, the clock runs, and you cannot get them off the football field. Washington has got to stop the run and get their offense on the football field so the offense can get productive.
Very little wind to speak of here at Three Rivers, so it really is not and probably will not be a factor. I want to give you an update on the score. Many of you perhaps interested in the Pitt-West Virginia game. This is a backyard brawl, Waynesburg and Washington. That's the second one down in that area. Pitt is trailing West Virginia 42-14 in the third quarter. Anybody up here predict that was going to happen?
Who would have ever thought that? Not in my wildest dreams.
Not 42-14.
No, I thought that game would be a lot closer. But like you said, it's not over yet. So, you know, I'm sure a lot of Pitt fans are out there, you know, gritting their teeth right now.
By the way, in the PIAA playoffs, Terry with a 20-7 lead at the half. Also, we're going to look and see if Michael Sutton is going to be able to come back. Remember, he was hit on the hard knock by Lee Fritz. He's their leading receiver, and we want to see if he is going to be able to come back and play. If not, that takes away Washington's biggest big play weapon.
That'll be devastating to Washington if he can't make it back in the second half.
I think he's in right now.
He's out there. In fact, he's the middleman on the kick return. He's holding his leg right now, and again, that's the leg that was injured. But it looks like he's going to give it a go. Simpson will kick off. He has accounted for 9 of the 10 points for Waynesburg. Good kick, too. A little bit low. This is Sutton. The 15-20. Still on his feet across the 30 and tackled at the 32-yard line. So Washington will have the use of Michael Sutton. There he is, number 32, with the kickoff return. First down and 10 at the 32-yard line.
He was cutting a little bit gingerly on that leg. It didn't look like he was going full speed. He's favoring it. But the key thing for them out there is he's out there and he's ready to play.
Chris Atkins made the tackle for Waynesburg. First and 10, Washington. Out over the football is Colin Miles, number 70, the junior center. Vontae Johnson chased down from the backside after this gain of a couple. Outstanding defensive work. Good pursuit angle. Matt Emmerich coming up, and also Derek Mears chasing him down from behind. Number 32. Gain of 2, second down and 8.
That's a good job again by Matt Emmerich, being where he's supposed to be. He's the outside force. He gives up the field and forces it back to all the defenders coming from the backside.
Second down and 8. Passing, Marsteller just 1 of 8. A 9-yard completion. Simpson on the blitz, and he gets caught. Here's the handoff inside. Ellis across the 45 to the 46-yard line. Making Larry Wingfield the ball carrier. That's good for a first down that time. A run blitz by Simpson. He got caught in the backfield, and the fullback took it straight up in there on a trap.
And that's really nice, quick hitter, and just found the seam, and he got a first down, and that's what Washington needs to do right here is just to maintain some continuity in the offense and get back into the football game.
Excellent trap block by Steve Ward, number 52. First and 10 at the 46. Johnson plays off the block, gets to midfield and into Waynesburg territory. Mark him out of bounds at the 46-yard line. A nice gain of 8 yards. It'll bring up second down and 2. Creed and Emmerich on the tackle.
That time, Emmerich got caught a little bit inside on this play. He comes up to force the play. He gets caught a little bit inside, and he's not able to come up and force the play. He's got to get upfield on that. When you got that blocker coming out, you got to get upfield and force that back to come back inside of it.
And the back did a nice job of waiting for the block and then he played off of it.
Really did a nice job that way.
2nd down and 2. D'Angelo Velez flanked to the near sideline. Inside handoff to Ellis. He's got the first down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. Jason Ellis, the senior, 6 feet, 190 pounds, rushed for nearly 1,000 yards this season. Greg Carson, the middle linebacker, made the tackle, but not before Ellis gets the first down for Washington at the Waynesburg 43.
Greg Carson has 4 tackles so far. He's leading everybody here except Matt Nemec. They both have 4 tackles on defense, so they seem to be the ones that are really keeping the stability as far as Waynesburg.
First down and 10. The little Prexies trailing the Raiders by 7. Ellis in motion. Pitch wide. Got a blocker. 40, 35. Inside the 35 and down to 31 for another. Washington first down in a gain of 12. Chapman and Fritz make the tackle, but not before Ellis picks up 12 and a Washington first down.
He almost broke that for a touchdown. He makes one cut to the outside, and he's gone.
And look who's leading them on the block.
The quarterback, Brent Marcellus.
Well, I really like this kid. He gets down the field. He's not afraid of taking hits. He's not afraid of punishment. You know, that's who you want as a quarterback. A guy who will take that kind of hit. I'm telling you, people will follow him.
This is clearly the best drive of the game for Washington. 1st and 10. Inside handoff. Not much doing that time. Waynesburg was right there. Mansfield, the ball carrier, the backup fullback. Brandon Doppelhoyer made the tackle. He's a senior, 6'2", 265, number 75 for Waynesburg. Call it a gain of a yard, 2nd down and 9. This is the best drive of the game for Washington, even though they ended up with a field goal. This clearly is their most sustained offensive possession.
If they'd have had this kind of a drive in the first quarter, they'd have been in the end zone twice.
Absolutely.
I like that sign. 2nd down and 9. Inside, Johnson gets, spins away from the tackler, gets inside the 30 to the 29, 28-yard line. Greg Carson smelled that out nicely. He held his ground, the middle linebacker, made the tackle, a gain of a couple, 3rd down and 7.
And just like we talked about before, you know, just when they start getting some momentum, they start going with this misdirection thing. Instead of trying to get the quick hitters, maybe a counter trey or where you just got one guy pulling, but they start having these guys flip-flopping in the backfield, and that defense is starting to penetrate and make plays. If they want to continue to be successful on the ground, they've got to just go straight ahead and use their power running game.
That was a misdirection. You saw both the right guard and right tackle pulled away from the ball. 3rd down and 7, and again, Marcella just 1 for 8. He avoids the rush. He throws deep down the middle, incomplete. Pass was high. And the intended receiver, I believe it's D'Angelo Velez, is hurt at the 15-yard line. Again, the pass is high. Lanford Simpson pressured the quarterback. Marcellus did a good job of sidestepping it. Watch how high the pass is to Velez. And again, it's Fritz taking his legs out from under him.
And there was a wide open receiver in the end zone. There was 2 receivers open, but the deep man was wide open.
Well, right there, he had to get rid of that ball quick because he's got Lanford Simpson coming up the middle, but you also have, when he escapes, you have Doppelhauer coming also. You got that many defenders getting that kind of penetration. You got to get rid of the football. Unfortunately, it was high. When that happens, you're going to get those receivers getting undercut.
That's happened twice now, and it brings up a 4th down and 7 from the 28. Too far for a field goal attempt, so we can expect Washington in 4-down territory to go for it. D'Angelo Velez averaging nearly 30 yards per reception, and it looks like he's going to get up and be okay. 8:21 to play, 3rd quarter. Waynesburg 10, Washington 3.
Come on, come on, come on.
Held back by slow phone internet service.
You really slow. Try AT&T at home. High-speed cable internet service that's always on with lightning-fast downloads and exclusive multimedia. Sign up now and get free installation plus 1 month free. Call 888-620-HOME. Come on!
If you want to get a better read on sports, get it from the writers of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review.
Writing in Pittsburgh is great because this is a sports town. My writing is like the way Darius Kasparaitis plays hockey, hard-hitting.
I just want to step away from that narrow focus that you get in sports and try to be something you can't get on a stat sheet.
Yeah, I wish I had a nickel for everybody who came up to me for how the Steelers are looking this year. When I tell them the Steelers are looking real big.
Call 1-800-909-TRIP to start home delivery of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review.
You are watching the AA WPIAL Championship game on Fox Sports Net, presented by AT&T at-home high-speed cable internet services. One of the big plays in this ball game, 4th down and 7 for Washington, just outside the Waynesburg 28-yard line. Vontae Johnson motion to the near side. Pitch wide to Wingfield. He's in trouble. He is going to be stopped at the 32-yard line.
I think we got a fumble.
It's the possession play. It goes over to Waynesburg. No matter what happens on a 4th down, Lanford Simpson made the big tackle as they went to the fullback Wingfield. They lose 4 on the play, and Waynesburg will take over on down.
Absolutely great job of the defense, penetrating up the field, and you got the guys coming from the backside to clean it up. The ball comes loose, and Lanford Simpson picks it up. That kid's a football player and all.
Say who else is a football player is number 6, Jeremy Gaiman. He's the one who made the tackle on the play, smelled it out. Outstanding play by the outside linebacker, number 6. Interestingly enough, he is also a wide receiver. He's a catcher on the baseball team, and guess who the pitcher is? Lee Fritz, the quarterback. So that's they're reprising their roles of baseball here in football.
Wide about having great timing by the time they come over to the football. You got to love that in high school. Guys play multiple sports together, so they're used to being together, and they have a great familiarity with each other.
That's got to be a big lift in momentum for Waynesburg, and conversely, Washington High's got to be feeling down. Their best drive is aborted. 2nd down and long. The pass by Fritz is incomplete. Actually, the nearest player to the football was a Wash High defender. Larry Wingfield had a very strong rush. That'll bring up 3rd down and 8. Remember now, I'm sorry, Velez is out of the ball game.
And Coach Moore's doing exactly what you said you wanted him to do. And he's coming out and abandoning the run a little bit and trying to open it up and spreading the field here.
You got to go after it. And then when they start backing up, they start trying to take those people, those 9 and 8 men in the box, and get them out to cover those receivers. That opens up the running game even more.
Well, that pass was over to Mark Clark's side. He's subbing for the injured D'Angelo Velez. Let's see if they go after him again. Here's the counter. Not going anywhere this time. Fumble. They call him down. He is down to 35 after no gain. That'll bring up 4th down and 7.
Worcester did a nice job of stopping them here. I mean, they're playing decent football. They just need to keep doing, rather than what you're saying is abandoning the straight ahead stuff and doing all that crisscrossing and misdirection stuff. Just go right at Waynesburg.
Outstanding tackle by number 87, Mickey Mansfield. Here's the kick, and there was no one back deep for Washington. They went for the block, and they're going to pay big time for this one. This is the 2nd time that they're going to have to start from the 1-yard line. Outstanding punt.
Are you sure that's the 1-yard line or the 1-inch line?
We have to call it the 1. We have no choice. A 64-yard punt, no return, and now Washington has to go about 99 3/4 yards. Let's go down to Bill Fontana. Bill?
This is John Barbaro. He is the principal at Waynesburg High School. And, John, how long have you been there?
I've been there since 1976.
I'll bet that today is the day to rob the town. There can't be anyone home.
I think everybody in Waynesburg is here today, and as you can see, having a great time. It's wonderful for the town. Everybody's excited.
What about the community? Anything special this week?
Well, they had a big bonfire on Wednesday night, which was very well attended. Signs everywhere. Just everybody is excited about the Raiders. It's been tremendous.
And finally, Stan, you can tell our viewers you are the voice of the Pittsburgh Penguins, PA announcer, for how many years?
28 years now.
You do a great job, too.
Thank you very much.
Let's go back upstairs for Stan.
All right, thanks, John. And Bill. Vontae Johnson gets him out of trouble immediately, a 15-yard gain and a first down.
That's really a gutsy call there, too, because he's doing a scissors play from a wing formation right in the end zone.
You are asking for trouble here. You are just flirting with disaster. Carson almost comes up and makes the safety on that play. And I tell you what, Cree did a great job at turning him back inside. If not, he might have gone down for 6.
First down and 10 from the 16-yard line. Marsteller on the keeper. Not able to get the corner. Simpson over there to make the tackle after a yard or 2 gain. I wanted to mention John Barbaro. He has been the PA announcer at the Civic Arena for the Penguins for, gee, it seems like they invented hockey. It's a big day down in Waynesburg. Their first playoff championship game in 40 years. That's good linebacking play.
Absolutely.
Got him behind the blockers. Chet Henderson.
He scrapes and he attacks and he makes the tackle. That's all you can ask for from your linebackers. I think that the left side of the defense is getting a little soft right now for Waynesburg. They got to pick it up because they're starting to pick on them over there.
Yeah, we talk about special teams. They have changed the complexion of this ball game. Marsteller, a lot of time, looks, fires way high, and intercepted by Fritz to the 35. Lee Fritz to the 30. 25, 20, down the sideline, touchdown, Waynesburg.
We got a flag on the play.
It's down after where the interception was made. It may be on the run back. It certainly probably will negate the touchdown, but most likely not the interception.
No, I think the ball changed possessions. It is truly an interception. Must have been a pushing from behind her.
Well, the high pass gets Brent Marsteller into trouble one more time.
And Fritz he's hanging out there playing safety. That's exactly what he's doing. He played center field, caught the ball, and like I said, he is a big playmaker. And, you know, with him coming back next year, you got to think that they're going to have a great chance to come back here, and we're going to be seeing him again next year.
Flipping on a run back. 15-yard penalty. First down.
You'd be surprised how much that happens when you have defenders a little overzealous and trying to get back at those offensive linemen and receivers that were blocking them the whole time. They're trying to get a little payback, and unfortunately, you get some clipping every once in a while. That happens a lot when you get interceptions.
Well, nonetheless, it is a turnover, the first turnover of the ball game, and Waynesburg from the Washington 32-yard line with a chance to really put a stamp on this ball game. Simpson inside, big hole to the 25-yard line, a gain of 7 to bring up second down and 3.
And the significance of that, I mean, you're looking at the offense of Waynesburg. They tried to open it up a little bit, and they got that defense thinking they were going to open it up. They come in there and they go in the pass rush, and all of a sudden, boom, you put Simpson right up the middle.
And, of course, we can lay it all at the feet, if you will, pun intended, of the punt down to the 1-yard line. Fritz keeper, 20, 19, fumbles the football. It's loose at the 19-yard line. Washington saying that they have it, and they do.
That was really a good play by the linebacker. He came in here and stripped the ball from number 78. I can't find his name right here.
Let's take a look at it.
Sam Desmond.
As they say, one good turn over deserves another.
He put his hand right on the football. That was just a great play. It wasn't like Fritz was holding the ball out there, you know, like a loaf of bread. Like a lot of times you see the quarterback scrambling. He made a great play on the football.
Right, the man who made the strip on that play was Ryan Moy, number 12. First and 10 from the 19-yard line. This is Ellis.
Turnover again.
Fumble, and Waynesburg has recovered.
We're
4
starting to get a
plays,
little sloppy.
3 turnovers.
We're starting to get a little sloppy down there.
Now this could really be a killer for Washington.
Right
so
now,
Fritz and company get another chance.
Another great play. Rashad Biggs.
Well, Chris Yeager made the strip, number 80. Diggs with the recovery. Here's Waynesburg now. Not taking any chances here. It's a straight handoff to Cree, inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. A gain of 6. It'll be second down and 4.
And when you look at Waynesburg's team, I mean, between Fritz and Simpson and Cree, they had 46 touchdowns and almost 2,900 yards combined between the three of them. I mean, that's a tremendous amount of offense with three people right in the same backfield.
Tremendous balance. They can beat you a number of ways. Second down and 4. And the handoff is almost stolen by Jason Ellis. As it is, Cree loses yardage back to the original line of scrimmage, the 20-yard line. Outstanding penetration. Ellis almost stole the handoff.
Yeah, it was. They have two inside linebackers just came immediately. And what they're doing now is they're just gambling that they're taking the lanes, the linebackers, and trying to get penetration.
Steve Ward made the initial penetration. Wingfield and Ellis there to clean up. Give credit to Steve Ward, who's played a very strong game. Third down and 10. Game in short motion. Fritz fires. Passes. They're going to call it a completion. Yes, they are. At the 9-yard line, that'll be good for a first down.
Good catch.
Outstanding catch by Sam McLaughlin on the third down and 10.
Sam McLaughlin came in last week in the third or fourth quarter and had a 46-yard punt return for a touchdown. And he can make some plays also.
Now, that's a tremendously big play for Waynesburg. As it was, it would have been a 37-yard field goal attempt for Simpson. Now it's first and goal at the 9-yard line. Simpson breaks the tackle in the backfield and goes towards the end zone. Touchdown! Once again, Washington on a run blitz almost got the quarterback Lee Fritz before the handoff. One tackler just bounced off land for Simpson. He's got his second touchdown of the game, and Waynesburg has its biggest lead of the game.
There's a hit right there, a hit right here, another hit right here, and they were excellent hits. I mean, it wasn't something cheap, and he just maintained his balance, body lean, and just straight into the end zone.
He's running right now like a man amongst boys. He's determined to make progress and get his team the victory.
Adam right out
from that leadership.
Adam right out with the extra point. And after a rather convoluted sequence in which there were 3 turnovers on 4 plays, Waynesburg goes 19 yards after their second turnover of the sequence for the touchdown. And they now lead 17-3. Now Washington, or any high school team really, is really under a cloud because they're going to have to throw the football to get back into it. And thus far, Marsteller has had only 1 completion, and he's also thrown an interception.
It's going to be hard for Washington to come back and start doing things that they're not normally accustomed to doing. But this is following the same pattern that the A game had. Southside Beaver beat Monaca the first time, and Waynesburg beat Washington the first time, and we're following the same patterns as both of those, and Waynesburg proving that that was no fluke.
Here now is our Kings play of the game, and this is the touchdown run by Lanfer Simpson. There's the hit right there. Chet Henderson, the middle linebacker. Clark takes a shot at him. Wingfield, not enough.
You know, he reminds me a lot of another guy that plays for us in Pittsburgh, and Jerome Bettis. I tell you what, you know, a lot of people have asked questions about having Richard Huntley and Jerome Bettis in the backfield. You want to lower that down to high school scale, this is what you would get.
Here's the kickoff. And a good return for Washington, giving them better field position than they've had in quite some time.
Better
Devon Washington with the return, and a good one out to the 44-yard line, and the little Prexies will have some room with which to work. A reminder that coming up this week on Sports Beat, it'll be our 2-part series on the recovery and rehabilitation of Jason Kindle. Guy Junker was out in Los Angeles, suburban Los Angeles, where Jason lives and trains. We were able to get our cameras to him, and you'll find out how he's doing and if he's going to be ready for spring training and how healthy that ankle's going to be for the start of the season. That begins Tuesday night on Sports Beat at 7 here on Fox Sports Net. Here's the wing back around. Vontae Johnson, good tough run out to the 49-yard line, a 5-yard gain.
Simpson made the tackle with help from Emmerich. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
Well, they're sticking with their game plan. They keep on running these misdirections, and right now they're hitting 1 out of 10, and that's not going to win ball games for you.
The other thing that's happening is they seem to be between the 30s. They move the ball really well, and then once they get down beyond the 30s, and things just start happening, and they just can't overcome them. You know, this is an offense that averaged more than 35 points per game this year. They've been successful. Ellis on the inside handoff. The plays are taking a long time to develop. Give them a couple to the Waynesburg 49. Will bring up 3rd down and 3. Tim Clevenger, senior, 6'4", 250 for the Raiders, makes the tackle.
And we got 3rd down and 3, and as an offensive team, you have to convert to 3rd and short. This is a perfect position to be in as an offense. You want to have 3rd and shorts because that gives you the best opportunity to, you can go up top because more than likely you're going to have them coming up and trying to put men in the box to stop the run. You have more options when you're in 3rd and short.
Johnson, 1st down and plenty more. Run out of bounds at the 38-yard line. 1st down, Brian Chapman, senior cornerback, number 7, pushed him out of bounds, but not before Johnson picked up good yardage for the 1st. Here comes a nice trap. Nice block by Ellis. The running backs block very nicely for each other.
Yes, they really do.
Big 1st down. Minute 24 to play in the 3rd quarter. I think our clock is on Central Time. Well, it's a second behind. 1st and 10. Washington really needs to convert on this drive. This is Ellis. Hole closes very quickly. There's a flag on the play. Derek Mears came in and tackled the quarterback. The game, there was none.
Bad sign. I'm seeing the trainers working over Michael Sutton on the sidelines, and they're taking a look at him, and he's kind of hobbling pretty good over there on the sideline.
Body offense, 2 men moving at the same time. That penalty is declined. 2nd down.
They'll take the no gain on the play to make it 2nd and 10. Personally, I don't know whether I'd have done that. I think I'd have taken the 5 yards at this point in time. Lost High, their 5th appearance in the championship. Lost last year to Shady Side Academy. Lost to Pearl in 1995, now won the title since 1993. 2nd down and 10. Marsteller looks, throws deep, got a man wide open, and it is incomplete. D'Angelo Velez had to wait for just a second too long. Bryce Cree, number 3, on the coverage, but D'Angelo Velez had 4 yards on Cree. Had to wait for it, and that gave Cree time to get back and break it up.
Credit that pressure to Greg Carson. He was breathing down his neck. He felt them coming from behind, and it made him throw the ball early. When that happens, you know, you're not going to be able to get that timing down. Yeah, one pass interference. I think that's just a great play.
Yeah, it was. It was not pass interference, I don't believe. There's a crossing pattern. Both ends were open.
3rd down. They better be careful. If they're willing to go up top, those DBs have got to get back there and cover them.
He's had some open receivers.
Yes, he has.
He's had some people open. Had a couple drops, had a couple high balls. Ellison motion to the far side. There's a pitch back. Wingsfield going nowhere. They tried to get Wingsfield wide and have had no success. Jeremy Gaiman comes up strong at the line of scrimmage to make the tackle. Carson helps him clean up. There's a loss on the play of a couple to bring up 4th down and 13.
I think Jeremy Gaiman is taking out a little frustration for not being able to be a receiver today. He decided he's just going to play defense since they're not throwing the ball.
That'll bring up 4th down and very long. There's still enough time, perhaps, for Washington to play field position.
Absolutely.
Punt the ball down deep. Let's see what Guy Manicalvo is going to call for.
I'm almost positive he's going to punt the ball here.
Time being what it is, you certainly want to get it off before the clock runs out.
Delay of the game.
likely that will be the call. No, we reached the end of the third quarter according to the official scoreboard clock here at Three River Stadium. As the clock ran out, unless they put some more back on.
Okay, 3 seconds, is that good?
Who's counting, ref? What's 3 seconds among friends? 3 seconds officially now on the clock. And this will give Washington an opportunity to punt the football. Justin Gradula with the kick. Good high punt. Taken at the 9-yard line. Fritz outside to the 20. Hit hard by Wingfield at the 25-yard line. Nonetheless, a good 16, 18-yard return by Lee Fritz. And we have reached the end of 3 quarters of play. The score, Waynesburg seeking its first Class AA title since 1959. They lead it 17-3.
Yep, it's takeout time. What if Hollywood didn't spend money on special effects?
No. Watch them do it right on TLC. See how the pros really make big budget blockbusters. Closer than ever before. Watch the masters create maximum fear. Pump the adrenaline and set up big bets. You are there. The action never stops with ultimate special effects. Sunday starting at 8 on TLC. I can do that.
This is not a washing machine. This is the road to reincarnation for your beloved white tablecloth that was fatally stained by a wicked 87 Merlot. The Catalyst Series, with patented Catalyst stain removal system, taking laundry from doomed to divine, unstaining stains in a most miraculous manner. Introducing Kenmore Elite. Too late to cook breakfast.
The WPIAL Championship. Coverage continues all day long on Fox Sports Net. It's an ACC Big Ten showdown. The Tigers come calling to battle Jarrett Stevens and the Nittany Lions. Clemson, Penn State, Wednesday at 8 on Fox Sports Net. Pittsburgh's talking about sports beat. Hometown views on Big Time Sports.
The biggest names in all the sports.
Sports Beat, weeknights at 7 on Fox Sports Net. And Lakers, Tuesday at 7:30 on Fox Sports Net.
After the 16-yard punt return, Lee Fritz and his Raiders start out with their own 26-yard line. First and 10 leading 17-3. Fritz keeps, breaks the tackle. Fritz to the 30. He fumbles. It is now loose. And I believe Washington has recovered. He has. Fritz, while he was still on his feet, had the ball stripped and bounded up in the air. He tried to catch it, was tackled, and
hopefully a touchdown. Washington's defense is doing exactly what I said that they had to do if they wanted to get back in this football game. The defensive line had to start dominating the line of scrimmage, and they're going to have to start making plays.
let's take a look now as they work on the injured player from Washington. At the Dollar Bank, 3-quarter stats. Scoreboard certainly is in favor of Waynesburg. Everything else is now starting to even up. Washington has a one long drive, but they ended up having to punt on that occasion. Turnovers have become a factor. Passing yards, both teams really are negligible, and the turnovers are now even. And Washington, even though they're trailing 17-3, has time of possession on its side.
And I think that's exactly the same thing that happened in the first game. Menaka had time of possession, and as I said in the first game, the time of possession doesn't mean anything. It's the points on the board that count.
Absolutely. When you look at that rushing yardage, it's starting to creep up a little bit, and Washington's their offense is starting to move the ball. Waynesburg's defensive line, they got to start stepping up. I think they started hitting that comfort level that happens to teams when they're in the lead, and they got to get out of that comfort zone and start getting intense again and start hitting.
Well, the injured player was Jason Ellis. If Washington loses him for any length of time, it's going to hurt because he is their leading rusher. 1st and 10 from the 34. Here's the fake counter. Marsteller looking, throwing man wide open. He loses his footing.
He was wide open.
Yes, he was.
A little bit behind him, and he tried to plant his feet to.
Pass is intended for Mark Clark, who's filling in for Michael Sutton.
Late pressure up the field by number 75, Brandon Doppelhauer.
Now Marsteller is just 1 for 12 passing. You see that he loses his footing, although the pass may have been behind him anyway. 1 for 12 now for Marsteller. They've got to get something here. 2nd down and 10. By the way, the winner of this game moves on to the PIAA playoffs. They will meet Tyrone next week up in central Pennsylvania. Marsteller, he's going to be sacked back at the 39-yard line.
Outstanding play by Lanford Simpson. Ran over a blocker in the backfield and got the sack.
Brandon Doppelhauer also in on the tackle. The loss is 5. It'll be 3rd down and 15.
What you see right now is the leaders on that defense starting to step up and make plays.
Oh, he murdered Larry Wingfield. He just knocked him right over. And Wingfield is not a small player. Comes in there at about 200 pounds, but Simpson with a big sack. That's his 3rd quarterback sack. 3rd down and 15. Rushed out of the pocket. There's a flag down. Marsteller throws it up, and we almost have an interception. Chapman almost had the interception.
He's got to make that play. He's got to make that play. The ball's in his hands. The defense needs to get a turnover to make sure that offense get back on the field and start working that clock down. It's imperative he makes that play.
That's going to be 4th down and 15. There's the hold right there on the running back, Vontae Johnson. That's not fair to make a running back block linebackers.
Body offense, 10-yard penalty for the foul. Still 3rd down.
That showed you a little bit more of the strength of Brent Marsteller. You know, he stood in there as long as he could, and the guy was wrapped around him. He almost got loose from him. And a lot of times, you know, he kind of reminds me of one of those tall, lanky, like Benny Testaverde type quarterbacks where you hit them and they can plant those feet and shake you off them. You got to really hit those guys hard and wrap them up to bring them down.
Derek Mears, number 32, was the pass rusher. 3rd and 37. In case you're wondering why they took the penalty, it's because in high school and college it's from the spot of the foul. So it is 3rd down and 37.
10 years that time.
Marsteller. He's going to be sacked all the way back at his own 31-yard line. Doppelhauer. Simpson there as well.
And that worked out perfectly. One of the key things that you learn as a defensive line, when the defensive line coach tells you to do, those outside rushers make the quarterback step up, and the inside guys get the pressure up so he can't step up, and they get the sack. That's great team defense right there. That defensive line worked well together with the offense, with the linebackers coming off the outside, and Doppelhauer coming up the middle. That's exactly the way it's supposed to go.
That's the 4th sack of the game for Waynesburg. Now the punt by Gradula. Fritz has done a good job. That's an outstanding kick. Fair catch called for and taken at the 28-yard line. The sophomore punter with an outstanding kick. We've got 10:03 to play in this football game. Waynesburg, minutes away from a championship. They lead 17-3.
I'll be Calvin. A freak injury has forced the fans to do without the man they bring on the ice when things get messy. This capacity crowd is on its feet as he makes his way back on the ice.
Look at him. He's as smooth as ever out there. UPNC Health System.
If
Want to get a better read on Pittsburgh? Get it from the writers of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review.
Movies were there. I mean, it was just what I always wanted to do.
I'm a social butterfly. From born party girl, overstimulated, over-entertained, and still having the most fun I've ever had with my earrings on.
I called my column originally The Art Enthusiast, and that's really what you should know about me.
Call 1-800-909-TRIP to start home delivery of the Pittsburgh Tribune-Review.
You are watching the AA WPIAL Championship game on Fox Sports Net, presented by AT&T at-home high-speed cable internet services. Waynesburg now with an opportunity, if not to build to their lead, then to run off some clock. 10:03 to play in the ball game. Inside handoff to Simpson. He gets out to the 30, gain of a couple, second down and 8. Sam, you mentioned something in the break about his defensive play today.
Well, Lanford has 10 tackles. He has more tackles than he has yards.
And he's got a fair amount of yards. He's creeping up on 100 yards. By the way, the punt by Bagrula was 42 yards. He's kicked very well all day long. He also is credited with the 3 points that Wash High has been able to score. Fritz at quarterback. Half roll. Looks to throw. Now fires for Gaiman, and it is batted away. Gaiman was skirting the sideline. Don't know if he'd have been able to come down inbounds, even he caught the football, but still, there was good coverage on the play by Mark Clark, who's filling in for the injured Sutton, and also has seen some spot duty for D'Angelo Velez. It'll be third down and 8.
And Coach Moore doesn't seem to want to go with the theory of run the clock out and just eat up time. He's going for the juggler bait.
I think he's trying to make some of these kids happy, and he also, since he's got another game to play, if they win this football game, he's got to show that he can pass the football.
That's a very good point.
Third down and 8. That may have been a quarterback draw all the way. Fritz fighting to get out of an ankle tackle. Gains a couple yards out to the 35, 36-yard line, but it'll bring up fourth down and 3. Brent Marsteller, his opposite number, opposing quarterback, makes the tackle. Fourth down in a punting situation. Back downstairs to Bill Fontana. Bill?
Yes. Okay, you're looking at Guy Montecalvo, and, you know, he's a 1973 grad of Washington High School. His record 161, 63, and 2. He's also the track coach. When he was in high school, he was the WPIAL MVP in 200 sprint. He was offered a job at Trinity, also Cannon McMillan. He wanted to stay in Washington because of his kids and also to coach his kids. Dan?
Jason Ellis with the return. There's also a very nice and heartwarming story. Guy's son, Jimmy Montecalvo, 2 years ago in 1997, was diagnosed to have cancer. And he underwent surgery and chemotherapy. It did stunt his growth, but Jimmy Montecalvo, number 42, is a backup place kicker, and he's on the team. And Guy has said, and so have many of the other Washington High players, that he's given them tremendous inspiration coming back from that battle with cancer. First and 10, Washington running out of time and opportunity. Vontae Johnson in big trouble, and Jeremy Gaiman made the stop. He has had an outstanding game. We've concentrated a great deal, of course, on Lanford Simpson, but Jeremy Gaiman has had quite a ball game as well defensively.
It seems like every time they try to run over to his side, he makes a big play. And like I said, he's taking out that frustration. You know, he's a little bit mad at himself for not catching that pass, and he comes out and makes an outstanding defensive play.
Don't forget, tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock and every Sunday morning during the NFL season, it's NFL This Morning here on Fox Sports Net. Chris Myers is the ringleader or the band leader or whatever. Marv Levy along. That's tomorrow night. Get you ready for the day's NFL activity right here on Fox Sports Net, 11 a.m. Second down and long. Marshall has got time now. He fumbles. It's rolling loose. Still loose. Fritz dove on top of it. He's got it.
That's a little redemption right there for Fritz. Yeah, he's lost 2 of them, and he got 1 back.
Greg Carson, the middle linebacker, number 51, has also played exceptionally well on defense. Caused the fumble. Fritz, used to handling the football, recovers it, and it's first down for Waynesburg.
Great job of the strip of the quarterback from behind, and then we play the find the football, find the wet pigskin. And the more sure hands on the team get the hold of it.
Well, did you ever pick up a loose ball and run it in for a score?
I had a loose ball once and had nothing but field in front of me, and big offensive tackle Irwin from Minnesota.
Tim Irwin.
Tim Irwin grabbed me by my ankle with his pinky. It was absolutely awful. It was terrible.
You get caught from behind by an offensive tackle?
I couldn't believe it myself. I think it's because I've got a long stride. It took a while for that back leg to come forward.
We're going to have to put you through a couple tire drills, Sam. You can't have them tripping over a point.
We won't go with the tires. We've progressed a little bit. We'll go with Russ.
If they could put a chute on the back of me, maybe I'll get some more speed or something.
Well, there's Jimmy Montecalvo. We talked about him a bit earlier, and boy, is it great to see him in uniform and ready to go. And, you know, if he's on TV, he's watching himself on the big scoreboard.
That's got to be a treat for these guys, seeing themselves on the Jumbotron.
Second down, 11. Fritz, pass deep down over the middle, and it is incomplete. Almost a reception. The pass intended for Bland, not able to bring it down. And that'll bring up third down and long. Craig Bland, the intended receiver, he's a junior, 6 feet, 160 pounds, has 17 receptions on the year. It'll be third down and 11.
He made an identical catch to that last week on the sideline, came down and knocked the wind out of himself. Just an outstanding fingertip catch, and I thought he was going to come down with this one because it's an identical catch, just a little bit out of his reach, plus he had that defender breathing down his neck.
That was Moses parting the Red Sea and Fritz's hair. Dan Moses, third down, 11. Simpson plowing his way ahead to the 30-yard line. Again, Waynesburg figuring they're going to go for it on fourth down anyway. Decide to get half of it back. They get more than that. It'll bring up fourth down and a bit more than 4 yards to go for the first down.
Every time I look at Fritz, the kind of presence that he has on the field, you'd think he was a very big statured kind of a person. I'll bet you he doesn't weigh 170 pounds.
But, you know, when you look at him and his height, I think, you know, when I was in high school, I was 6'5", 185 pounds, and people thought I was intimidating. You look at that now, and that's just darn skinny. So I think he's a little intimidating out there among them.
Fritz takes the pitch. He's outside. Fritz to the 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Waynesburg.
Outstanding play.
Lee Fritz on a 30-yard touchdown run has put this game away for the Raiders as they now lead 23-3.
That was a beautiful fake. He read the option perfectly. He gave a fake and turned it up inside, hit the sideline. This was just remarkable.
And the speed he turns on over in the corner, it just shows his versatility, both defensively and offensively. He runs away from the defender. The defender's right there. He can't get him. He runs away and scores a touchdown, and he gets redemption.
There's a bad snap on the extra point attempt. Right out is after it. It's a live ball. There goes Bland. He throws on the run. Incomplete to a receiver who had fallen down. Derek Mears, the tight end on the play. The extra point is no good, but nonetheless, quarterback Lee Fritz, the 30-yard run. Now Waynesburg, with that touchdown, leads it 23-3 with 5:59 to play in the championship.
No time to watch the oven? This season,
I'm sick and tired of losing.
tradition is becoming a thing of the past.
Why do you think my father put me in charge of bull-headed moron?
I coach my way. Any given Sunday, life is a contact sport. This film is not yet rated. Starts Wednesday, December 22nd at a theater near you. Yep, it's takeout time.
The show for football fanatics. NFL, college, even prep. Our all-pro team is all over it. Fox Sports Net Football News, weeknights at 6.
It was 10-3 at the half, but in the second half, it has been Waynesburg. Washington, because of turnovers by Waynesburg, has gotten opportunities, but they just have not been able to put anything in the end zone. Field position has gone the way of Waynesburg, although sometimes You've got to look at your offense and say you've got to create some field position for it.
Exactly right.
Get a couple of first downs, change things around. Here's the kickoff. Velez hit hard. That's another factor. Waynesburg has been the more physical of the two teams. They were bigger. We knew that going in. But they also have been the more physical teams. And guess who delivered that hit? Nolan, two guesses, and the first one doesn't count.
Lanford Simpson.
There you go. And he's coming back. Both Fritz and Simpson are both coming back next year.
We're looking at the size of these guys, and I was amazed. I was talking to my wife last night after I finished doing my studies. They have 16 players on this team that are 6 foot and over. That's not even counting their weight. They're 6 foot and over. I mean, that's unheard of. When I was in high school, I was the tallest guy on the team. You know, they've got a whole lot of these guys that are 6 foot and over, and that's just got to be intimidating. They're all still growing.
Yeah, they're growing big down in Greene County, that's for sure. Here's Marsteller. It is intercepted. Outstanding play by Greg Carson. Cut right in front of the receiver at the last minute, picks it off, and Waynesburg will have it first and 10 at the 24-yard line. Greg Carson, senior, 6 feet, 235 pounds. He's also the starting center. That's just a great break on the football.
That is a great break, and he's also had 8 tackles besides the interception.
He read it perfectly, clocked the ball, got it, and made the play. That's what you have to do. And when you're a leader on the football team and you're called upon to make plays, put the game away, that's how you finish out football games.
This game could get ugly really quick here.
From the Washington sideline, it's pretty darn ugly already. Raiders going for their 13th consecutive victory this season. They will play Tyrone next week. Tyrone last night beat Sharon. District 6 game, 24-7. And so those two teams will meet in the PIAA in a WPIAL at a WPIAL site. We've got a whistle.
Had a little confusion on the Washington side.
And they called timeout, and they did. They used one of their timeouts, and here comes Coach Russ Moore. Interesting about the job that he has done there. Waynesburg was a program that really struggled, seldom won anything, Sam, as you know. And just since Russ Moore came up, he had been an assistant coach down in West Virginia. He's from West Virginia, and Russ came up, and now in his 5th year, his record is 38-16, about to be 39-16 in his first WPIAL championship. And I know that programs aren't easy to turn around.
No, it isn't. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes also, you have to have high expectations, but the coach has to come in there and change the attitude around, and sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, but once it's changed, then everything just starts to snowball. How many games have you won in the last 2 years? He's done 22.
22 of their last 23 games. Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
So he got things rolling pretty good down there.
Everything is about perception. Exactly what you said. If you perceive yourself to be a losing football team or a school that doesn't have a great program, and it's not going to get any better, but when you can change that perception and change the way you're doing things, it makes things so much nicer for you.
Inside handoff for a couple. Time now for our Tribune Review game summary. You see the score as it exists. Wash High actually took a 3-0 lead, but Simpson has been the difference offensively, coming up on 100 yards for him. He scored 2 of the touchdowns. Fritz with a 30-yard touchdown run. Waynesburg's defense has been suffocating. Jason Ellis, who's been banged up, has 60 yards rushing, but again, Washington has not been able to pass the ball to back Waynesburg off the line of scrimmage. Simpson lost his footing in the backfield. He had more room to run. He gets near the 15-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2. Ryan Moy, who's probably had to make too many tackles in this ball game as a strong safety, makes the stop for Washington. There's Ryan. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
That's Ryan Moy's 8th tackle, and when your safety's making that many tackles, you know that offense is coming through there. I mean, he's sitting back there 8 yards off the ball and coming up with 8 tackles.
I guarantee you, Simpson is the last person he wants to see coming through there at full speed.
There's Ryan Moy. 3rd down, 2. First time we've seen a triple stack eye. Fritz with some ball handling to Cree, and Cree is inside the 15 to the 14, but appears to be a yard shy of the 1st down. Nonetheless, Waynesburg certainly will go for it here. 4th down and 1. Tackle by Steve Ward, who's played a strong game defensively. There he is, number 52.
They don't have 8 men in the box. They have 8 men on the line of scrimmage. So there's a total different concept here as far as defense is concerned.
I think they're in their goal line defense right now, and they're still out at least 15 yards away.
Well, unfortunately, there's got to be a loser in the championship game, and Wash High realizes now it's going to be them. It's been a long, tough season. They will lose. Simpson's driving inside, close to the first down, depends on the mark. I think he's got it. They will lose to Waynesburg twice in the same season, and they will have lost 3 games in a row to Waynesburg, which has not happened to Washington, losing 3 in a row to any one team since 1987. They had things pretty much their own way down in Class AA, but now there's a new force in Waynesburg.
And it looks like they're going to be here for quite a while. This isn't just a fluke here.
And this is how you start rivalries. This is when those big rivalries start. You know, the towns start, talking about each other, and there are things in the local papers about the game, and the games start getting even bigger than what they are now, and that's great for high school football.
A reminder, tune in at 6 p.m. as they take the measurement. It is short, by the way, and Washington will take over on downs. Weeknights at 6, football news on Fox Sports News at 6, and of course Fox Sports News nightly at 10 when there's not a hockey game. And then it's about 10:15. Unless there's overtime, then it's about 10:30. Whatever, you get the idea. So Simpson falls shy of the first down, and Washington will get the football with 3:42 remaining in the ball game. Waynesburg comfortably ahead by 20. Don't forget, coming up in about a half hour's time, it'll be the AAA championship game. Bell Vernon against West Allegheny. Marsteller scrambling, and he's going to be sacked back at the 3-yard line.
Brendan Doubleholler again.
Well, he's had quite a game, too. They all have, really, defensively. West Allegheny, of course, has gotten all the attention for giving up just 24 points in 12 games. It's unbelievable, but this Waynesburg defense is awfully good.
And when you're using a Delaware wing tee, when you get behind like this and playing catch-up, all that crisscrossing and faking doesn't really do anything because they know that the ultimate end is you're going to throw the ball. So it's just time-consuming to go through that. Plus, the backs that are crossing have different angles on the block or the linebackers, and they just can't maintain blocks.
They can't. And, you know, you get those defensive linemen penetrate and get their ears pinned back because they know, like you said, it's got to be a pass.
Second down and long. There's completion out to the sideline. It's Velez.
And that was just a 3-step drop, throw the football, and he got the timing on that play. There was no misdirection and play action or anything like that.
My apologies, that's Mark Clark on the reception, number 25, not 26. The gain is across the 15 to the 17, and it brings up 3rd down and 7. Jason Ellis, leading rusher, 943 yards. Banged up earlier in the ball game. Sutton came back, ran a couple of kickoffs back, but really has not been a factor in this ball game. Last week, in the semifinal game, he had 2 long touchdown receptions. Third down, and here comes Carson again. The ball is loose. Carson again with another sack on the quarterback, Justin Gradula, the punter, who's the backup quarterback, and he's treated rather rudely. Washington recovers the fumble, but it'll be 4th down and forever from the 1-yard line.
Carson comes through almost unblocked. The quarterback's blind side strips the ball, which is exactly what you're taught. When you come from the quarterback's blind side, the first thing you try to do, secure the tackle and then strip the ball. And that's textbook tackling done by Carson.
That's his 9th tackle, and he has 1 interception.
It's tough to pick an MVP. I think I know who it's going to be, but you could go in 4 or 5 different directions. All rights to this copyrighted telecast are reserved and are presented by Fox Sports Net under the authority of the WPIAL. This telecast may not be reproduced, rebroadcast, re-recorded, or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the WPIAL. We will have the on-field celebration and the presentation of the trophy. Bill Fontana will be talking to the winning coach, Russ Moore, and some of the winning players, so don't go away. And about a half hour after this ball game is over, we will have the AAA championship game. 4th down at about 40. Gradula looking, throwing deep down the sideline, well overthrown.
And that is going to give Waynesburg the ball at the 1-yard line.
Now, do you kneel down or do you trickle in?
Got to play him again next year. I don't know. This is a tough call. By the way,
this is how rivalries build right here. Do they get mad? Do they get the other team mad at them and saying all kinds of stuff? They ran the score up on us. Or, you know, do you put your young guys in and see if they can score a touchdown?
Well, I think you've got, like you said, Nolan, you've got PIAA playoff games to go. Kids work hard in practice, Sam, as a coach. They want a chance to play as well. And really, if Wash High was worried about it, they wouldn't have thrown on 4th and 40.
I still think he's going to kneel down.
No, he's not. Inside handoff, touchdown, Waynesburg.
It's a touchdown.
What they're waiting for. It's Simpson with us. See it from here.
Well, that negated all that. So here we go. Here comes the bad press for next year's game.
You know, a straight dive to the fullback I don't think should be construed as running it up. If you would run a triple reverse like Sam White would have called for there, then you got a problem.
Well, I tell you what, though, Dwight Clark accused us at the Steelers of running up the score in the first Cleveland game when we kept on running the ball on them. So, I figure it might be the same thing for Washington, but we'll see what comes out of this.
Now, the bad news is that Clark can't accuse you of doing that in the second game. The extra point is up and good, and so Simpson, with his 3rd touchdown of the game, has made it 30-7, and no surprise, our UPMC player of the game is fullback and linebacker Lanfer Simpson. 20 rushes, 99 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's got 3 sacks by himself, 10 tackles. Other than that, I think he may have made the popcorn on the way over.
The extra points, the kickoffs. I mean, what didn't he do in this football
field
game?
Goal. He got a 32-yard field goal.
I mean, absolutely incredible. I'm very impressed with him as an athlete, and I'm sure there's a lot of college scouts out there that also are impressed with him.
That's no kidding about him growing up on a farm, and he gets up every morning at 4 a.m. and does the chores. I know that happened a lot to you living in suburban Chicago.
Did someone say he got ran over by horses a couple of times, and that's why he's as tough as he is?
Yeah, he did.
Well, nothing's changed. He's still doing the chores on the football field.
That's right.
He's definitely the workhorse.
Outstanding game by Lanfer Simpson, but Lee Fritz played extremely well. Defensively, Greg Carson, the center, and middle linebacker. This is a total team performance, and frankly, I don't know that anyone expected a 30-3 ball game.
I know I didn't. Well, I have to say that I did. By watching the games last week, you know, I just felt that that Washington was outmatched. I thought that the speed and the strength and the size of Waynesburg was too much for them to handle over the long haul. I didn't envision it being this big of a difference in score, but I definitely thought that Waynesburg was going to win the football game.
And they have. There's Russ Moore celebrating his first championship. Wingfield with a nice kickoff return off of the 44-yard line.
Made the tackle.
Bryce Free made the tackle. Still in there. Starting cornerback and also the starting tailback. So Washington High finished their season with an outstanding year. 11-2, and any way you slice it. You know, this is their 5th championship appearance since 1990. 5 in 1 decade. That's just an outstanding job by head coach Guy Montecalvo, and they'll be back again soon. Here's the long pass ahead intended for Clark. Coverage on the play.
At the end of the game, they're showing some life on their offense, and the guys just not coming down with the football. Unfortunately, that's just been the way it is for them today.
And Jason Ellis, I'm afraid, is hurt earlier, and this is Mark Clark, who was hit after the ball was overthrown. He came in to replace Mike Sutton, and this is a team we mentioned about 2 players, one playing with a dislocated shoulder, the other with a separated shoulder, and since the midway point of the season, they have been putting together sort of a patch-quilt offense. They have not been able to remain healthy. There you see D'Angelo Velez. He had an interception early in the ball game, and he went out for a time with the injury.
Here comes the coach's son into play. That's a great story.
Oh, good. Jimmy Montecalvo, number 42. There's Guy. There's Jimmy Montecalvo. He's a senior, so this will be his last opportunity to play.
Well, I tell you what, the kids at Tyrone are going to be looking at this film this week, and you know, I'm sure it's going to be a little intimidating seeing these 3 monsters coming at them. So the defense of Tyrone they've got a task ahead of them, and that offense has got to stop that front seven because they're playing very, very, very well, and that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out next week.
You know, Lee Fritz kind of saves his best for the biggest games. In the regular season game against Washington, he was 8 for 10 for 197 yards. Now, we haven't seen him pass like that today, but that shows you he is capable. In fact, he ran for 3 touchdowns in that ball game. And after a shaky first quarter, saved the best part of his game. There you see Lee. In the second half, a 30-yard touchdown run. And as you mentioned, Sam, his poise, you can just feel it all the way up here, the way he runs that team.
Just tremendous sense on the football field.
Pass thrown behind the intended receiver. Jimmy Montecalvo, number 42.
And Brent Marsteller takes another crushing hit by 2 defenders. It's just kind of epitomized his day-to-day.
Bring up third down. There's a good look at our player of the game, Lanford Simpson.
Is that the stylist down there in Waynesburg with all the different color hair, do I guess. I don't see any Italians down there.
You don't see Italians with green hair very often. Third down and long. Marsteller looking, throwing over the middle, and it is caught for a first down at the 41-yard line. Clock will stop on the first down with 12 seconds to play.
Build for the future. You know, guys, don't give up. Continue to try to make plays. Game's out of hand, 12 seconds left, but you still want to make plays to build for the future for next year, because that's all you can look forward to now.
And Wash High is called for a timeout. They'd like to get one in the end zone. Let's stop and look at some of their point totals this year. Offense has struggled down the stretch. They only had 6 points against Seton LaSalle, won that ball game 6-0, then only 7 in that regular season finale against Waynesburg, but they seem to get it back again, 34 in their first playoff game against Shady Side Academy, the defending champions, then 55 against Quaker Valley, 14 against a very good Aliquippa team, but today, only the 1 field goal.
They can put some points on the board, and, you know, once again, as we talked about in the first game, there's no losers on that field. You don't get here. You don't end up being 12-2 or 11-2 and end up being a loser. I mean, to be here, you've got to be a winner.
We saw Russ Moore modeling for us, probably picking a spot for that 13th Tomahawk for next week's game against Perry.
I think a big disappointment today, and a key loss for them is the injury to Michael Sutton. I think that if he was able to stay healthy in this football game, I think he could have made some plays. He was the key in their victory last week, and by him being injured, they took out their primary receiver.
David Gregg with the sack. That is the 5th sack, and that will also end the ball game. You are looking at the AA WPIAL champions, the undefeated Raiders of Waynesburg.
Well deserved, well deserved. They played an outstanding football game, and you know, this is something, I tell you what, this is something I miss, and you'll never see professional athletes doing this, and even college athletes, but I tell you what, this show of sportsmanship is, to me, is what sports is all about. You know, the walking across and shaking everybody's hands, telling everybody good job and good game. You know, it really brings you back to what football is truly all about, just going out and having fun.
We're going to watch this for a while because it is unique. The only time you ever see this is in the end of a series in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and that's one of the great traditions about hockey, and it's a good tradition at this level. I wouldn't mind seeing it even on the major college level, to tell you the truth.
Absolutely. It reminds everybody that it's just a game. This is a game. We enjoy playing it very much, but it's a game. And as long as the kids are enjoying themselves and having fun in the game, you know, you're going to win. Some teams are going to win, some teams are going to lose. But it's the coaches that are having their kids having fun playing. Those are the teams that will be the most successful in the end.
Our UPMC player of the game, Lanford Simpson. We'll be back with the presentation of the trophy to the Waynesburg Raiders when we come back. The final score, Waynesburg 30, Washington 3.
What's the strength of a dollar? Money is economic energy. When distributed, it has the power to fuel all manner of enterprise. Since 1855, dollar banks have invested billions of dollars in millions of lives and thousands of businesses in western Pennsylvania, creating a currency of growth and opportunity. That's the strength of a dollar.
Oh, I'll be counting, Peggy. A freak injury has forced the fans